podcast from Steam. Powered Giraffe, it's the Bennettarium. We got no bunny on the podcast today because she's tired. Bennettarium. It's the Bennettarium, and it's starting right now. Okay. Well, that was a lot of effort for just a little bit.
Yeah. I was like really twisted as I was singing.
But we got it. It's good.
Hello, everyone. So, we don't have mic stands yet.
But you will be happy to know that we're using the lovely Engineer-eteers income to invest in better audio equipment. So now, this is just the first of a few upgrades. There won't be many. Mic stands is the next one.
I'm sitting cross-legged. So I need to scoot over.
we got
really far away from you guys, but
I mean,
it's
fine. I
You're
mean, yeah.
like
I mean,
way over there.
It does look like we're interviewing you or something.
Get closer.
I'm comfortable where I am.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
because I have room to cross my leg.
okay.
So yeah, the first upgrade is that we have SM58s, the Shure microphones, the industry workhorse of microphones.
This is what everyone uses, right?
Well, we Steve owns some for sound stuff, but we don't. When we use them, he uses a few on back when he uses his God mic and stuff. They're the workhorse of the industry. Everyone uses them, and they're great because they won't pick up as much ambient noise. As you can see, we don't do sound. We're not doing sound blankets. We're just giving it a test. I already know the sound quality sounds way better than lavalier mics.
Oh yeah.
So that's
I mean, with these mics now, we don't need the sound blankets really.
But now we do also
work.
need the headphones, which we're using the industry standard for studio monitors now, which are actually the ones we use for our studio monitor now for people who come in.
Yeah.
But we bought some
These are
extra
nice.
ones thanks to the Engineer-eteers for their support. They didn't know that we were going to use the money to buy it, and we weren't going to, but it was like it was a good investment. I mean, 20 to 30 of you show up, 6 of you maybe show up. Oh, is there a package out there? I think there might be.
I heard a knock.
Sometimes
Should I
I just
go
leave.
check it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm shaking. All I've had today is a giant
Thing
cup of
caffeine.
tea. I'm like, I haven't eaten.
So, anyways, so now we can hear our own voices. We got this little, I didn't want to invest in a mixer because I just don't feel we're at that level yet. So I'm doing everything digitally still. But we're able to adjust our headphone volumes individually. So that's helpful for being able to monitor how close we are to the microphones. It's good. It's like, now you'll know this is not acceptable back here. But up here, it's real nice and personal. And we're talking to your ears while you're in your car or on your way to sleep. Also, we'll be getting microphone stands, so we don't have to hold them the whole time. And we'll be getting some nice pop filters. They're red, too, so it's going to be red on black. It'll be real cool. Those weren't very expensive, so when I say investments, it's like those are like $3 each. And these aren't like nothing was super expensive. It's just that we had to buy 3 of everything, or 4, just in case we had a 4th thing. So hopefully this will sound better for the audio podcast listener, as well as the Engineer-eteers live video people. And
I should go check on it.
And then all we need to do is get quality content, and we'll have a podcast.
Yeah, So what all have you been up to lately? I think the last time we had Camille on the podcast, it was November 20th.
Wow.
Which is AFF. No, that was BFF, before Final Fantasy.
Right.
Since
We're in
then,
AFF.
we are now in AFF.
What's that mean? What's the acronym
She just
mean?
said.
I just meant like BC and AD. I was saying last time we had Camille on was BFF before Final Fantasy. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
For you.
We talked about it a lot, and it wasn't.
Now
even
you can
out
die
yet.
happy.
Yeah. No, I'm
Do you
never
guys-
happy.
Do you guys ever have those like stupid things that you like when you're like, oh, I hope I don't die today or get hit by a car because I haven't finished this?
I
or
had that
like
for a long time before the Lost finale.
Yeah, me too. I was constantly
And the last Harry Potter book.
I was constantly scared that I would die before I saw the final episode of Lost.
I used to have those, but I feel as I get older, I just don't care as much.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just because Maybe it's because of the amount of things on your plate. Like you've already experienced
Sure.
waiting and getting the the reward so many times in your life that eventually it's like even that becomes kind of repetitious.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't have as much time to like consume media and fiction anymore. But I don't think I have one of those things now.
I was thinking about that too, but then again, like I was like, oh, was I just like, I had more time to devote, to things. But then again, when I think about stuff like Harry Potter and Lost, nothing on that like level has come out since then.
I mean, I was excited for the first Hobbit movie because Lord of the Rings, and then the second
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, well now I know what they're gonna be.
Because it hadn't come out yet.
I remember we were at the theaters. We were seeing Brave, which ended up kind of sucking. I didn't like Brave, but I remember we were at one of our usual theaters watching Brave, and the teaser trailer for the first Hobbit movie came on, and it was the one with the dwarves singing the Misty Mountain song, and I started crying. I had like tears rolling down my face. I was like, this is so beautiful. Oh my god, this is gonna be like the best thing ever.
I mean, that was
and
a
then
good
the movie
scene,
came out, and it was kind of like
to be
a
fair,
fart.
I think the first movie was
just
the
like
best out of
a
all
fart
of them.
noise.
It was the best, but it's a really low bar. Like,
I mean, nothing's gonna compare to
the
Lord of the Rings.
teaser trailer was the best.
It was good until they left the Shire. Like the first 20 minutes of the Hobbit movie felt very Tolkien-y to me, and I was like, oh my god, the dwarves are singing. They're doing Tolkien's songs from the books and everything, but then I don't know, it lost me.
They broke off from the book like right after that. So
whatever. I don't want to critique the Hobbit movies today. I'm just saying.
There's enough
trailer
films
was
out there
so
with,
good.
with industry meddling.
I feel like maybe one day they'll actually make a Hobbit movie,
Maybe.
like the book. I just choked.
I'm sorry if it sounds like my nose is plugged. I've been having allergy issues. I sound like I'm underwater or something. Anyway, I used to be obsessed with movie trailers, just like the art of the trailer and editing something to like, I don't know, when I was younger, I used to like download movie trailers from one website that like, it was like an archive of movie trailers, and I would like save them on my hard drive and watch my favorite trailers, occasionally. Like I was so obsessed with the cinematics and the editing.
Arguably, if they do their jobs right, those trailers can be better than the movie.
There's an art to creating a good trailer, and
I mean, a lot
I
of
could talk about my favorites.
There's so many movies also that are just terrible. The trailers don't do the movie justice at all.
Oh, of course.
It's definitely like worked on by someone not in the like. I mean, you see that with video game trailers all the time too. Like then the director will come out and like, and here's the trailer I made.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one wants to see that trailer except for
It
the
can go
fans.
both ways. It could either be better or worse.
I didn't say quality. I just said that they will put out another one.
Oh yeah.
Because it's someone else's idea. It's like, this is what I think your game is.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes it does help. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to. There's so many games that
Or
like
if
the trailers
there's
do
just
sell you. Like the first Borderlands. When I saw that trailer, I was like, I'm getting this game. I wasn't even following it. And then it was like, do you like RPGs? I don't remember what it was, but it was like, do you like RPGs? How about first-person shooters? What if they had a baby? Oh, and there's loot. Like, I love Diablo. That's what it was. It was a Diablo, the first-person shooter.
You just got me really into Diablo.
But that was like years
3.
ago. And then I feel like we're reaching these milestones where nothing's impressive anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're like, what was so great about this game? Because now you're like, oh, this game kind of sucks. And then you're like, but what at the time there was nothing else like it.
The
I'm
milestones.
not saying anything about Borderlands. I just meant in general.
Yeah, milestones seem to be coming fewer and far between. Like
we started talking about video games.
After
we better start.
No, I was gonna go back to TV. Like after Lost became this huge pop culture phenomenon, every single trailer for a new TV show or commercial for a new TV show advertised it as the next Lost, and that never really happened. We never really got another phenomenon like Lost was.
The shows that came closest
to Game of Thrones, but not for the theorizing, just in terms of how popular it became in pop culture.
Or one might argue that we got too many of them, but none of them hit the mark.
No,
they were all trying to copy it. The ones that got closest to the feel of Lost, I think, weren't even trying. Like I would say the first season of Orange is the New Black felt the most like Lost because of the structure.
Yeah, I remember saying that too. I was like, well, this show has nothing in common with Lost except for the structure of the flashbacks for the characters.
Yeah.
But that made it like the closest cousin to the way I felt watching Lost. I don't know. And for me personally, I think it's not as big, like it's not as like widespread in terms of pop culture and everyone talking about it, but Westworld really hit that mark for me of the similar feeling of like, oh, there's so many questions, and every time they answer one, another one pops up, but not in a frustrating way, in a way that like makes you explore your own inner whatever. Like,
Yeah.
makes you think about philosophy and life and the big questions, and I like that stuff. Westworld did a good job of that.
Well, the only thing that gives me that excitement from in more recent years was probably virtual reality. It always comes full circle.
VR.
I haven't quite gotten there yet with VR. I don't feel like it's...
I would disagree, because when the first time you got into the spaceship, it's that first impression. It's not cool when you can do it any time of the week, because then you're like, okay. Because when I played the PlayStation VR X-Wing one, like that was really cool. I was like, they need more games like this. But the problem is there aren't any games like that.
Yeah.
There are like a few second experience, and you're like, well, that was cool. And then when you can play it like over and over again, you're like, you get desensitized, so it's not cool anymore.
I mean, VR is cool for a while, but for me, it's still, for me personally, I'm not saying it's a gimmick for everyone, but for me, it still feels like a gimmick.
Well, there's no games out.
There's nothing
there really
to
isn't.
play. Like, okay, I could use the Vive to do that one where it's like, oh, I throw the stick for the robot dog and all that kind of stuff, which is really immersive and cool to experience. But I'm done after like 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, time to do something else.
I don't find myself like, I can't wait to get back into VR, because I'd rather play a game that's more fully fleshed out. And I don't know, some people argue that there is stuff out there, but I don't know. Even the Oculus CEO, I believe, came out and said that there just hasn't been that spark of like what is. It's all just more packages.
That sounded like someone moving.
But at any rate, I always go back to Elite Dangerous, because it's a game that uses VR as a way to experience it, rather than using VR as the reason to make the game.
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing, because if you could play like Fallout in VR, that'd be cool. If you could play The Witcher in VR, that'd be cool. Any of these games, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, like that would be cool, because then it would be like a way to view the game is in VR, and that I think that appeals to me more than in this game. Throw the stick. In this game, punch sound.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous has been like a really great VR experience. If you were gonna like sit down and experience VR for a few minutes,
well, I would throw everyone in the X-wing one.
Sure, that too, but I was saying,
because you get like nostalgia, even though it's kind of garbage, but it's still like.
I feel like it would just make me feel sick.
I mean, that too.
It does if you're not used to it. I can only do it for like an hour right now. You get better the more you do it. But
I don't know. It just never has appealed to me. So.
Well, what I was saying is, the X-Wing one is probably really cool. But for me, Elite Dangerous is a good example, because I played Elite without VR. And I loved it as a game. I would, I mine asteroids with you. I like go out to the asteroid belt and I like mine for materials. And I used to just play it on a screen. But then I started playing it in VR, and it completely transforms the experience, because you can't explain the sensation of like, I've got my controls, my flight stick, and you look to the right and you can like see asteroids all around you, like floating above you, and you could go, oh, I want to check that one up there for resources. It's like, I can't even explain how different it becomes when you're not playing it on a screen.
It's hard to explain it to yourself too, when you're like,
I can't even explain it myself. Yeah.
Well, no, like to convince yourself, like then when you get into it, you're like, oh, this is always fun. Like,
right, when
it always feels like, why do I want to put on this headset and stuff? But then when you get into it, you're like, oh, this is really cool.
When I'm playing Elite in VR, I could be, I could be flying in one direction with my ship, but I could be looking to my left and like below my ship, the glass floor, and I could be looking at asteroids down there that I might want to check out later. It's
the
like,
closest thing would be,
I can't even explain how.
Would be like when
awesome
you're driving a car. It feels like that, but in space. Yeah. And like, what if your car was a game? That's kind of what it feels like.
How exciting.
Anyways, I'll let...
We got back to VR. It's been a while. It's been a few months since we talked about VR.
I'll make sure to let everyone know when there's a game that's worthy of everyone to go out and buy a VR headset. So far, no.
Just don't play the American Truck Simulator or any of the driving games, because I've never felt sicker in my life.
Well, that makes a little more sense, because everyone drives a car, and when you hit the brakes, you expect to feel
That's
the
what
G-forces.
happened to me.
But when you don't, then your body's like freaks out. Not for me, but
I tried the truck simulator in VR, and I was driving, and I was fine accelerating. Like I was fine until I hit a stop sign, and when I pushed on the brake and made the truck stop, my body didn't feel myself stop. It was like my body kept going, but the truck was slowing down, and I had to run to the bathroom, like, because I thought I was gonna throw up. Like, that was the my worst experience in VR.
Well, because your body's used to feeling it.
Yeah.
You're just when it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I was like,
that's just showing that you're immersed enough that you're expecting to feel the
exactly. I was like, my brain suddenly, like, my stomach reminded my brain that I wasn't in a real truck. And it was like there was a dissonance there where it's like my body could handle it.
I think I'll stick to games that don't make me have to run to the bathroom after.
What about Impromptu's shooting gallery that's coming to VR?
I don't even have an interest in that. That shows how much I don't have an interest in VR.
I mean, I'll look at it because I just want to see the characters, like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And like, oh, this is what they look like if they were my size.
I'll come over here and try
you should try one of the Vive games where you just stand in the room and interact with stuff around you.
I've done it. Like one thing here.
You did the demo years ago.
Oh, and with the DK2.
It was really scary.
Oh no, I mean,
it was the one where you're
better
like,
now.
where it like puts you in random. I think it was
like slowly.
The chair, or was it the chair?
Yeah, and it's like time goes by and like eventually you're just like on a rock in space because the planet is like gone.
Something like that. Yeah,
it freaked me out, man.
Okay, no, we should have her try the space pirate trainer.
There's whatever.
Yeah, there's like Vive games where you just stand in the room and like you know your controllers are guns and you shoot.
I mean,
targets.
that's why I think that's what the Vive has over it is they have more games that are like there's no momentum in them.
Yeah.
It's just you in a room standing somewhere. But anyways, we should move away from VR.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know. And things
things people haven't heard.
So, I have not played Final Fantasy 15, but both of you have finished it. So, what did you think?
I've platinumed it for the record.
As someone who's not a big fan of like all the Final Fantasies and someone who is. What are your guys'? What's the verdict?
I think I said most of what because I mean Camille hasn't been on, but I definitely has sprinkled my
2 cents
in the last. I don't know how many podcasts.
I guess my opinion would be that I really like it. I think it's better than 13.
Oh, I would agree.
Way better, an improvement for sure. It'll be interesting seeing the franchise move forward with what they've done in this game because it's so different. It's very Western feeling.
I liked that about it.
Very open world. I know they have different teams for every game, and probably no one will be even using anything, for the next game from this one. But it's there, so they could expand upon it. I think it was lacking in the coherent storytelling section, but it's so great in every other category.
That seems to be a running theme in Final Fantasies, not having a coherent story. So
actually, no, that was like their strongest suit, like in the old ones.
Yeah,
and they kind of started getting away from it. But I think it's just really obvious that there was 10 years worth of edits and problems behind the scenes, and they just needed to get it out. And I think for what they did, like for all the things that were in their way, it was pretty good. It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, me playing it definitely felt like me playing it. When I played it, it definitely felt like there's the story that like it feels like there's some parts missing, like. But I mean, whatever they put in there kind of worked, and some of the gameplay kind of hit a low at that one
chapter 13
puzzle, quote unquote, level. I mean, I get the theme. I understood the themes. I was just like, because the gameplay was enjoyable up until that point.
Yeah.
But I got what they were doing. It wasn't like I was confused anywhere. I was like, oh, they're trying to make you feel isolated. Without spoilers, don't. If you're gonna play the game, just turn out the podcast now.
They definitely, after a certain point, in Altissia, that's all I'll say. They definitely did a good job of making you feel the impact of what the story was. Like what was happening in the story. You definitely felt like the gameplay changes and your dynamic changes, and sometimes, and when you're all alone and you can't make fancy things to eat, all you have to eat is cup of noodles.
Well, at least you bought the cup of noodles, because otherwise it would have been like toast. What's the other option?
Toast or beans?
I can't remember.
But no, they definitely made you feel like a rift, and it worked.
But I feel that whole puzzle,
it was weird.
Level, that went on for way too long.
It was really long, and I saw someone say that they're just like testing the waters for FF7 remake, because it might be more like that in some levels. But I seriously doubt
it. Like
it.
padding.
I think they just tried to do something weird and different, and it didn't really work as well as they thought it would.
Well, it's always difficult when a game like you play a certain way for the whole game and then right somewhere.
I started to feel really claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's just not and plus the system isn't. I mean, these are all just opinions, but the system isn't built for the camera system and all that, and the gameplay isn't built to be in a corridor.
Yeah.
And every time you have to fight in a corridor, it sucks. It's like it's very like when you're at battles, it's like the camera pans back, you can see everything, and you're zooming around everywhere. But in a corridor, it's like there's so many times in that one chapter that I'm in a doorway and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing because I can't see.
Yeah. I liked the ending.
I thought the story was
ending.
good. The execution there was a little bit of hiccups in there, and it felt like here's a game that it didn't feel like it was rushed out the door to be finished. It felt like if they could spend more time on it, they would have changed things.
Yeah, I think it was definitely they wanted to get it out, and this was the best they could do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way with a lot of games these days because patching is a thing, and because games look so much better, it takes more time they have to put more time into the technology, the art, and the assets.
And these, they have to completely redo a lot of scenes to have mouth movements for different languages.
Oh, yeah. So there's more work that went into that than in Final Fantasy, 7. I mean, they could focus. They had less stuff to focus on.
You've been playing it a little bit.
I've played it before.
I know, but
7, yeah.
No, the PS4 one.
Oh yeah.
I
started it up, but
yeah, I was.
I remember everything.
Yeah.
I haven't got to the part where I stopped yet.
I was very excited, but I doubt you'll continue.
It's tough because I haven't even played any games.
What were we saying?
Chelsea was saying something, but we kept talking.
Oh, I was
sorry. Final Fantasy.
I was just gonna say, when you said they have to spend a lot of time changing the lip animations for different languages. That's why I always thought it was really clever when games use a fictional language. Okami and Shadow of the Colossus did that as well. They just make up a language for it, and then they don't have to spend extra resources and time and money on the translation, which I think is pretty clever. Mm-hmm. That's all. Yeah. I know you can't do that for everything. Obviously, that wouldn't work for Final Fantasy, but for like more independent games or just like a one-off thing,
Steamroll Heist kind of does that.
It works. Yeah.
I mean, basically anything without a voiceover, and I mean, you can just. Then all I have to focus on is getting the text translated. But
so, is it time for the team that did like Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 12 to make another one?
That's what everyone's hoping.
Everyone's hoping that 16 is the 12 team. Oh, the director of 12 did 9 as well.
It's
or is it like
there's
the
a lot of
art
producers and directors involved that I think get kind of confusing. But
yeah, I think 9 and 12 had a lot of the same people. Working on those games, and those are two of their best. So they haven't done a game in a while. So like it'd be cool to see 16 be
their
that
turn.
Team.
Well, this is the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy this year.
If they're gonna be releasing, I'm hoping they release 10 on PS4 because that'd be not 10, 9 on PS4 because
it's all ready to go.
Yeah, I mean they have it on PC. I'm only concerned that they're not going to port over the whole multiplayer controller thing because they don't have that on the Steam version.
I think they have an event in February or something, and everyone's hoping there's gonna be like a huge announcement, like every game is gonna come out like in a collection.
I mean that was the whole rumor that there's gonna be the old versions that you can play, but also they have the updated ones, like all the ones from the iPhones that they've been making 3D and stuff.
Because the 7 port looks really great.
Yeah, when I played it on PS4, like. I mean, some of those old games are stuck. Even 10 is stuck at 30 frames because everything is coded around that. But it all like works.
You should scoot over a little bit. You're like cut off on the screen. Okay.
I mean, not everyone can have an aesthetic appreciation for the video.
I'm sorry.
So.
I'm sorry. I ruined it.
You're cut off.
Most people aren't going to be seeing this video.
The composition.
No, only about 30 people.
Like that. There we go.
Not even. Just a little.
There we go.
At least 30 people.
Whatever.
Anyway, 12's coming out, which is cool, and hopefully everything else will
Do we have a
and
date
that's a
for
version
that yet?
that no one's actually played because
I have not played that one.
Only the international version.
Yeah.
And it's all based on the Zodiac. It's
Chelsea's favorite game with her favorite subject. It's perfect.
I love astrology, and like I just like the I don't know, like it's your quote unquote
aesthetic?
Kind of, yeah. Like I don't believe in it all, but to me, it's astrology has always been something really fascinating to read about because it's a way of like connecting to, you know, how our ancestors made sense of the world. And I love the idea. Most people don't realize this, but the Western Zodiac is based on the seasons that the Earth travels through. It's not really about the stars. It's not
Chelsea,
like,
what's your thoughts on that?
It's not like this constellation is determining who I am. It's more the idea that Aries, Taurus, Gemini, et cetera, are representing the 12 seasons of the Earth and the 12 periods of a human life.
What's your thought on that one that people are always trying to be like, there's a new zodiac, or
Ophiuchus.
Yes.
I don't remember if I'm saying that
Isn't
right.
that like complete?
Yeah. I mean, every few years, the fake news story comes out that they're adding a 13th sign to the Western Zodiac, and it's like, oh, now you have to look up the new dates to see like your sign shifted because of the new constellation Ophiuchus, and but no, that of course that constellation exists, but it doesn't have any impact on Western astrology because, like I said, it's not about the stars and the constellations. Western astrology is about the 12 seasons of the Earth.
Well, that makes sense in that particular case.
Yeah, that's all.
I'll go on record saying I don't have faith in anything and I don't believe anything. So that's just an easier way to sum up.
Well, I mean,
instead of like denouncing something, because I know you just said earlier, like you don't believe in it.
It's like tarot cards. Tarot cards aren't telling you your future. Tarot cards are just, you know, someone made 78 pieces of art and gave them meaning. Like this one represents this, and this one represents this emotion, and it's more like, you know, it's. How do I describe it?
It's a concept.
It's supposed to be advice. It's not saying like, oh, I pulled this card, this means this is going to happen to me. It's like, you know, use them as wisdom. Like this card represents moving forward in your life. So if you pull that card, it's supposed to make you reflect on, you know, what's going on in your life and blah, blah, blah. It's just supposed to be like a little companion, like something to help you key into your emotions or whatever. It's not fortune telling. Yeah. It's just like I like tarot cards for the art.
It's reflective
and the story they tell. Tarot cards, once again, like the Zodiac, if you lay them out in order, they're showing the journey of a human lifetime and everything, like, you know, from birth to death. So yeah, it's more just like if you're into tarot cards and you read tarot cards, it should be taken more as just like advice, and you use them to explore your own inner psyche. And don't tell people like, oh, this is going to happen because you pulled this card. That's ridiculous. But that's just my opinion.
I definitely was interested in tarot cards and all that. I had a set too from like the 70s back when I was a kid. But as a kid, you're just like, oh, what's this? This seems cool. And
yeah.
Like we could never get a Ouija board as a kid because our mom was super, super spiritual. And like, but it was like, it's just one of those things as a kid, you're like, but I want to know what's.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you discover it for yourself and you're like, oh, this does not, there's no proof.
Yeah, no, there's no proof for any of it.
Because if you talk to me normally, I'll just be like, yeah, it's all BS.
Well,
but, you know, on a podcast, I'll just say, I don't believe in any of it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but you be your own skeptic.
Yeah, I don't believe that any of that has a bearing on our lives. Like, I love science and I like logic, but I also like, there's another part of me that loves exploring spiritual stuff, but I see it from a totally logical standpoint. I know that like tarot cards aren't determining my future, but I'm still fascinated by them, probably for how I said before, because it's a way of understanding how people in the past and our ancestors saw the world before they had all the answers.
I mean, that's just,
to me, that's really fascinating.
I mean, that's the human condition of trying to find answers.
Exactly.
And, you know, all this stuff does, religion, religious texts, and astrology, things like that, any mysticism, yeah, any of that stuff, it all plays into truths about human nature and stuff,
right?
And you can't denounce that stuff. It's like, yes, the Bible, whatever your beliefs are, the Bible, all that stuff, it all pretty much the Bible it all pretty much they all have the same meanings, give or take where a religion is in their cultural where like different countries and stuff,
right?
Different society standards at the time, and a lot more were vague and like, oh, back in the day, make sure you stone people because that's what people did. Like, it makes sense because a human wrote this at the time. It's so biased towards where what the time period,
exactly,
the region they're located. But the overall thing is it's all speaking to the human condition at that time, what was important for society standards, a set of rules, perhaps, and the things that resonate with people probably isn't that stuff, but it's the things that are talking about a human. If it, like, oh, this speaks to me, it resonates with me.
Yeah.
Like that's all. I mean, that's like any religious text, anything. It's like you don't read it and be like, what's this? You read some of the stuff and you're like, okay, I don't know if I believe that angels spin around in their wheels and they have wings, but you know what I mean? Like, but when it talks about like stuff that's pretty much just like psychology and stuff, or then it's like, okay, well, everyone understands what a human goes through, so that's like universal.
Right.
Religion might not be for everyone, but being a human is.
I'm not a religious person at all. I don't adhere to a religion, but I find religion fascinating for the same reasons I find astrology and tarot fascinating. I took a college course on, like introduction to the major world religions. I really like learning about that stuff, like in an academic sense, from a mythology standpoint. And I'm not going to say, this is wrong and this is right, any of that. I don't want to get into that on the podcast. I'm not going to talk about religion in that way, but yeah, like any religious text like the Bible or something, at its core, what it's supposed to be is just like a tarot deck. It's supposed to be something that you reference to deal with your life and understand your emotions, and it's not supposed to dictate how you live your life. It's supposed to be something that you can like take comfort in and explore your emotions with, or something. I don't know. I'm not very coherent right now, but
no,
I don't know. I'm trying to get my point across where it's like, I'm not religious. I do consider, I don't know. I think my personality is a little on the romantic side. I see the world I try to see the world in a romantic sense. And I don't mean that in like romance, like, I mean romantic in a more broad sense where, I try to see the best in the world. And I think I'm spiritual in a way that like, my romantic spiritualism or whatever is based in science. Like, I don't know, like I think of like watching Cosmos or something with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, my spirituality is all about the universe and the science of the universe and how we don't know everything yet. Like, I don't know. Science and spirituality for me are one and the same, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
How do we get on this? I don't even remember.
Final Fantasy.
Astrology. Yeah, I'll play 12.
Class.
I'll
12 is great. I think you'd really like it.
But I have a hard time sticking with some games unless they resonate with me in some way. I don't know.
Hopefully it will.
Yeah.
It's way better at like a political storyline than 15 was.
Sure.
If like it has a very coherent story.
Yeah, I mean 15 had a
12 is basically like Star Wars.
There was some parts missed. Yeah. No, I heard that. I heard that for that one. I don't know anything about it, but 15 definitely felt like there's missing stuff. Like that one lady, like it didn't feel like she earned her place in the story because it seemed
Which
like
one? Like
the second.
They all didn't.
The number
like,
number
did
2
the
lady.
Lady's so bad.
Yeah, the one that's dressed like ridiculous and like this is not practical armor at all.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Aranea.
I'm like, because she had one level with her, and then
although she does come in like
the bad guy, like she's the villain.
No, she was like a mercenary.
But it felt like there was extra stuff with
she
her.
Was
that
really
out,
cool.
Right?
Like having her in your party was cool. Instead of like reviving you, like you know how like you revive your party members. Yeah. She'll come and slap you, and that revives you.
I know she also
of, like,
she
patting
also,
you on the back.
Like you'll be running around doing stuff, and she just shows up in her ship.
Every single time that happens to me, it's as I'm like dying, like fighting this really hard battle, and it ends, and I'm like, oh my god! And she shows up at the end.
I think it's supposed to. It's supposed to be like tongue in cheek. I think it's intentionally that way.
Really?
That's when I saw it. I think it's because when I read online, like that's how it's happened for everyone. I think it's supposed to be like, oh, you're done with this.
But there's no point. She enters your party and then instantly leaves. She did help me the first time.
Maybe it's just a bug, but it seems to be happening for everyone.
I think it might be a bug then, because it definitely seems like she's supposed to come in the middle of the battle.
It does seem like they're missing some stuff. Like there should be more story with her. Like that one level didn't feel like
she's
enough.
really cool, but
I feel it, but so that's why the game kind of feels like, oh, there's probably more to it, but they didn't.
Well, there's definitely like points in the game where like your party members leave and you're like, this is gonna be DLC.
I think that was super obvious. Like you can kind of guess all of them because they all have a yeah.
There's like 3 points for.
Here's how Prompto gets injured that certain way. Not Prompto. Glasses.
Ignis.
Yeah.
Glasses?
It's been a while. It's been like a month since I've played.
Glasses, muscles, and.
When did the game come out? Came out a while ago.
Glasses, muscles,
come out in
gun.
October.
Gun.
November 29th.
Camera?
Yeah, I didn't play. I only played it for the 2 weeks after it came out, so I don't.
I just know he's like the camera guy is like the comic relief.
Where was he when he fell off that train? That's his DLC.
And then Gladio when he suddenly leaves your party and he's like, I can't tell you.
There's
and
the goofy
happens.
one, the tough guy, and the science guy.
There's
I don't know.
There's
they're
Whitey,
all just
Whitey,
like
and Whitey.
Do they have any more personality than they're like
Glasses, Noodle, and
this one's the funny one. This one's the muscle one. Or like
funny
this is the glasses one.
Definitely an opinion.
Well, he's supposed to be funny. I'm not saying he was funny.
I mean,
anyway.
I like all of them fine, but like, come on, where's the classic Final Fantasy party where there are like a bunch of ladies?
The one lady you were talking about just looked to me like she was just there to be like sexy and evil.
Yeah,
and that was her character.
She wasn't evil. Like
no, she was a good guy.
She was like she was just like working for them because she wanted money. But like, I definitely liked having her in my party more than the other guy, Core, who like he just came in and he was like,
character development was
I have to
off
go
of the game. Yeah,
he was like, I have to go, and like. It was like you didn't do anything.
But other than those shortcomings, I felt like most of it. Good. Like
I like to pick on it, but I love it.
I like the story.
I say that if you can't make fun of what you love, then I think you should be able to make fun of what you love. I love Lost, and I can make fun of it for hours.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wasn't as excited as other people. I don't want people to think that I loved the game. Like.
Not even love.
But I don't
want to give people the wrong opinion here.
I mean, like I really love The Witcher, but I'm not obsessed with it, even though I think it's like
it's
the greatest game
I mean,
what would you say you're obsessed with? Anything?
Probably Red Dead Redemption.
Okay,
like when
I can agree with you on that.
And I mean, I like The Witcher as well. There's just some of the aspects of it just I feel like aren't me.
I think sometimes as long as you feel like you didn't waste your time, it just means that you
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
because I guess I'm associating love with an obsession. And I don't really obsess over too much.
Well, I think obsession is kind of. I mean,
Camille.
Anyone of any.
I'm saying.
Anyone of any age can obsess over something, but I think, in general, you grow out of obsessing over things once you hit a certain age, and like I don't know. I feel like. I don't have enough time to obsess over anything anymore. That's something that younger people do. Like
you can still be a big fan. I'm still a big fan.
Yeah.
Right. It just doesn't occupy my brain.
I don't think there's nothing that I would obsess over anymore. Like I was obsessed with Lost, but
I'm all obsessed
Lost
over something.
Started when I was 15, and I had time to obsess over it.
When something's coming out like in a week, I'll be obsessed for that week. And then
yeah, I definitely felt before episode 7 came out of Star Wars, like every single thing from my childhood was like coming up, like, and I was just like the whole week before Star Wars was just like, oh my god, this is just I couldn't.
But some people live in that weird nostalgia obsession like all the time.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could do it.
That's tiring.
Well, also you have to have time to do that, and I don't have time because if you're working on your own.
And honestly, I like that better. I like that I've grown out of my obsession fandom days. Like, you know, some people still have the time for that, but I don't, and I feel happier as a person because I actually have like a life and responsibilities.
But we have the time to actually consume the product.
Can digest
but
it.
We don't. But this is the way I see like a lot of people is they'll play their video game, they'll get through it in 60 hours, which is more than long enough video game for me, but not for people who can beat it in 3 days or something, and then say they need more content, and I'm like, ugh, like insatiable, like someone like me.
I need a break.
It took me like 2 years to get through all The Witcher and its DLC, and other people can get through it and start their third playthrough. Like that's like a difference in time rather than like obsession. I think
so much Red Dead Redemption, so much Shadow of the Colossus. I have like 3-4 save games of Shadow of the Colossus, and I don't think I would have the time to do that anymore. If Shadow came out today, I would never have had time to play it through 4 times and, climb the wall to the secret garden and all that shit.
How many hours of Final Fantasy 12 did you have? Something crazy.
160 hours.
Nice.
But that's like nothing
that's
compared
like over
to some people.
years, over a couple
that's
years.
over a couple years.
Just remember, keep comparing yourself to other people, and you feel real good about yourself.
Yeah.
At least we're not them.
Well, I played. I had 3 Final Fantasy 12 games. I only beat it on the first save file, but I had 2 other games that I had started over the course of years. So it's more than that. But my main save game that I was like trying to get all the legendary weapons for and everything has like 160, 70 hours.
That's
on
pretty
it.
normal. I mean, even my Witcher was closing to 200 hours after 2 years, and I didn't play it hardly at all.
I'm all like, oh yeah, I used to have so much time to obsess over games, and I played Final Fantasy 12 so much. But then I'm like, well, I only had 160 hours on it, and that was over the course of like 2 years. So that's like still nothing compared to some people. I think I just don't obsess over things the way other people do.
Well, I didn't like.
Gotta have time.
Yeah.
I think my platinum, because I just platinumed 15. I think I had 80 hours. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's been over a while.
You've definitely doubled the amount of time I've spent in the game, because I think when I completed the game, and even I think I was only at 40 something.
Yeah, mine was like 50. I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but
I didn't do any of the side quests. I like just focused on the main game. So it took me about 30 something, and then I played a little bit more after that to get the flying car and all that.
Yeah, I was just kind of like doing lots of side quests and hunts and the optional dungeons.
I mean, I'm excited to do that stuff.
The dungeons are cool.
I was holding out for that elusive for performance patch that will make it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now that I've played this story, I'm like, okay, now I just want the game to look better.
Well, the platinum trophy was actually really easy.
I mean, looking at it,
Unlike
doesn't seem.
some things.
It's more like time investment
It's
rather
just
than
time.
skill, right?
Yeah. Because that last one of the last trophies is the giant level 99 turtle the size of a mountain. And
well, it's nice. I like the feeling that I have a game that I can go back to eventually, because there's definitely like, if I can put another
huge.
40 hours into it, like that's more than I put in the 2 weeks when it came out.
There's some things that I was just like, there's no way, like I can never platinum something that takes up literally every hour of my day.
Yeah.
That's just, I would hate that. You could pretty much tell right away.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess as a developer, it's kind of hard to judge what your audience is going to be. Are they going to be hardcore people who want because when you start making difficulties, you can make your easiest difficulty for anyone who's never picked up a video game before, which I like, because that means anyone can play it and enjoy it for the story or just the experience. But then, there's the normal difficulty, which is like a little bit of a challenge, and then a hardcore one where it's like you die and you have to start the whole game over again.
I really enjoyed my time playing The Witness. I just have to say, what a fun and stressful time in everyone's
never
lives.
finished that. The only reason that I didn't finish it is because I watched you two finish it, and after that I was so mentally exhausted. I was like, I can't do this myself after I watched you guys play through the whole game. I had to take a break, and then I never got back to it.
I started seeing like the puzzles in everyday life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah, that was me too.
We were hiking one day, and there was the shadow of a tree branch on the ground in front of us, and we had been playing for like 5 hours the night before, and at the same time we both pointed to it and started tracing the shadow. We just looked at each other like, oh my god.
Stuff like that is fun like for a
Well,
while.
so just for any of you who don't know, the Witness is like it's a pretty simple puzzle game, but it's kind of stylized a bit, but there's not much to it other than solving puzzles and trying to solve all of them. And
some of them are really hard.
They're really well done.
Oh my
though.
god, it's
like
so
the environment
good,
puzzles, and it builds upon knowledge, and it doesn't hold your hand at all.
Yeah.
And when you complete it, it feels really good. But what in hindsight, while I said, "Oh, this is a great game," in hindsight, I realized what it did to my brain playing it. And it's not a game that I didn't obsess over it, but there's no way you kind of have to obsess over it, because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to get your brain wrapped around the game mechanics.
You have to learn all the concepts, and then you have to remember them to play.
And it's weird because it's almost like it's learning a skill that you can only use in this game.
You're learning a language. The puzzles.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
The very first puzzles in the beginning of the game are very simple, but they're teaching you the rules. And like if you jumped into the game at some later point, the puzzles would make absolutely no sense. There's
of them
like
incorporate
stars,
like all
black
three.
dots, white dots, shapes on the grid of the puzzle and stuff, and they would look like gibberish unless you had played the easy puzzles in the beginning and learned the rules of each one. Like puzzles with a white star on them have certain rules.
Yeah,
and that combined with puzzles with green blocks have other rules, and you have to combine them and figure out how the rules work within each other.
But like most puzzle games, I think they appeal to a human sense of trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, and
problem solving.
Problem solving. And it like takes it to the next level because there's no like manual, like this is how this rule works.
Yeah.
It's like you have to use all the knowledge from how you solved other puzzles to go and apply it to there. And by the end of the game, you're like racking your brain like, okay, I remember this puzzle did that.
Yeah.
But then they introduce a new rule for that old puzzle that they never actually put in any of their older puzzles that you solved, and it's just
and not just the puzzles in themselves, which were satisfying to solve, but just the game in general, like the sound design and everything about it made you feel so immersed in that world. And
I felt a little like I was going crazy.
It felt like Lost to me because it takes place on an island, and there's all these weird things happening that you're trying to figure out on your own, and it gave me that sense of like wonder and excitement of not knowing what was going on.
Finding like a new area of this island is just like
it was tough to sleep during those playing the game. Like it's hard to switch your brain off from that.
Yeah.
And it's not like I spent every day like trying to beat it in a row.
It gets in there, yeah.
It's like it's just in the even when it's in the back of your head.
Did you guys ever play the last like dungeon or whatever, the
I walked
mega
in and
challenge?
I walked out.
Oh my god,
I watched Camille play
it so long doing it because
I remember just like hearing you from the other room like just yelling at the TV like like
because
it feels good. It feels good when you figure something out. You know, Camille didn't, but but then again, like
I eventually did it though. Like they play like 2 classical pieces of music, and that's how long you have to finish it, and it's like a really long thing. And it changes every time, so you can't ever remember. Like it changes the puzzles literally every single time, so they're always different. So there's no way you could get help.
It's like they're randomly generated or whatever,
and you have to go through all these different.
Oh yeah.
And you have to
but wait, that's kind of like the end of the game, anyways, right? A little bit because it's random at the end of the game.
Well, it's timed.
Oh, okay.
In this one, and
you
have a certain amount of time to do it, and then you have to go back to the beginning. It took me forever, and I finally had to have a friend of mine do it. And I was just like, oh.
And
I don't think none of us looked up guides for any of the puzzles too, because it was like it's like a good. And then like when someone would, I remember you asking like, how did you solve these ones? And I'm like, do you really want me to tell you?
Yeah,
but that one,
the revelation is so gratifying when you finally figure it out.
The tree grove. I swear to God, I don't think I ever beat the shadow puzzles.
There's a few where
they were really hard.
Where I figured out the reason, but then because the game mechanic kind of didn't work as correctly, so then you think that can't be the reason, and then you realize later like, oh, I was correct in my first thought, and that's what I hate because that's like the game design obviously.
Well, it's like that last one.
You run the risk of overthinking a lot of the puzzles.
Yeah.
The last one though, you can't get help.
I think it's important to point out that the second piece of classical music, which makes you realize you don't have a lot of time left, is Hall of the Mountain King. So it's really
stressful because that's the second one.
Oh my God.
That's the second one.
And by the end, it's just like the cymbals are crashing, and you're just like screaming. You're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna beat it.
Anyways, so if you want to have a terrible time, pick up The Witness. It's gotten great reviews.
It's amazing. It's really good.
It's on Steam.
But you won't sleep.
It's terrible. Like, even if you try to play it casually,
it's terrible, but it's awesome.
You can't play it casually. If you play it casually, you're never gonna get through it.
No, if I jumped back in now, I feel like I'd have to start the game over because I'd forget all the rules.
Baby's first walk. I don't think you'd. I mean, maybe you'd.
I can't go back to my old save file. I got to start over.
It was really fun when it first came out because everyone was playing it.
It felt like wow, I get why everyone likes it, but then in hindsight, I kind of regret playing it. I feel like
play with like a friend, like do it at the same time, like someone else is
we
playing.
were playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyways, more video games. Wait, let's. There's new ones coming up. There's new ones. Mass Effect got its March 21st release date.
I never played any of the other ones, but I'm sure I'll play this one.
How dare you?
I do that. I'm one of those people. I'm definitely not a completionist when it comes to games. I played Dragon Age Inquisition. Never played any of the Dragon Ages. Still have fun with it.
I went through the first 2 before. I have to play.
We're
them
completely
all.
different. You like have to play everything to like.
I want the full emotional impact.
I don't care.
For Dragon Age, the best. That one's I think is okay to skip because
other
than the first one, the story sucked for number 2. And
of course,
I liked 2.
Story
is.
I guess.
I mean, they're not bad. They're just
story's important.
Better than
they're not Mass Effect story quality.
I don't know. I kind of
Yeah.
flip-flop in the way I feel about games because, of course, in some games, a story does matter. Like The Witcher story was really
rightly
good.
say
but
that Inquisition was memorable?
no, it wasn't.
It was
The
not.
gameplay, well,
The gameplay
you know
was great.
why? Is
Yeah.
that I played the first two,
Yeah.
and the first one, like the
gameplay was
it was so
really,
janky, like
especially
really,
on consoles. It was meant for
Oh,
like a
man.
PC, and it was.
I mean,
very,
I enjoyed it, but it was so like it looked like a PC game. 2 was like lacking in a lot of places, but I liked the characters.
Yeah.
And then you get to 3, and the graphics were amazing, and
Yeah.
it was huge, and I just had a blast.
I
playing
think maybe it just depends on the individual game for me because I say a lot of the times that story doesn't matter. Sometimes I just want to unwind and sit down and fight monsters. And for me, Dragon Age Inquisition hit that mark where it's like I didn't care that the story wasn't memorable.
I didn't either.
I didn't have
I
to
know.
go play all the other ones. I just thought it was a really fun game where, you know, the graphics were flashy and pretty and it was a way to just wind down.
Witcher 3
Until
came
Witcher
out.
3
and then
came
I'm like,
out.
and then I tried to play back because I was like, man, I want to go play in the DLC, and I couldn't do it.
But the
Yeah.
thing I like about Mass Effect, and the reason I wanted to play the first 2 in Dragon Age, is that I love starting a game and having the world that you created and influenced exist in a new game.
Transfer to the new
that's
one.
pretty fun.
And so that's why I really wanted to.
But
And so
how
when
are
like
we-
Hawk came, I was just like so
No, that was cool.
excited.
And it looks, well, you have to kind of recreate them in there.
And Mass Effect's the same.
I mean, is there going to be a transfer?
I don't
can't
think
imagine because
so.
there's no way to get from the old
No, it's like a
platforms.
completely new.
If they did the whole thing with Dragon Age where they make it on a website so you can like
that was cool
input your
though.
stuff,
Worked.
Yeah. That's not terrible, but it's gonna. But since
Starting
it's like
fresh.
completely separated from everything, that's
Yeah.
that's
I
why I don't
like-
have to play the other ones. But if you can get through 1,
I like 1.
2, and
I tried.
3
I
are the
definitely.
best.
I started Mass Effect 1 after they had all come out, and I was
Yeah.
really excited to romance Garrus. And I was playing the first one, like I was just like trying so hard, like, and I like texted my friend. I was like, "Why is he not like responding to me? I'm like flirting with him
'Cause
so."
they didn't
and she was
think
like,
anyone would
"You
want
can't."
to romance.
She was like,
aliens.
"You're talking about you can't romance him in game 1." I was
She's
like, "That's why."
He's just shutting down all of my advances.
But
What's
they
going on?
learned in the third one and the second one. Everyone,
Yeah.
anyone you see, you can.
So, I
Everyone
mean,
wants
sort
to-
of.
Yeah.
But I think they're
That
expanding
was like
on
Dragon
that.
Age 2. Everyone swings.
I forgot I
every
can't
single way.
swear. I was gonna
Well-
say everyone wants to leap the aliens, and they didn't realize that in the first one, right?
Mass Effect, and that's
Yeah.
the slogan.
Everyone wants to.
But I think they're fixing, like, they're trying to work on that for Andromeda. Like, it's gonna be like anything goes.
Look, a rock. Oh.
It's an alien
That
rock.
was like really.
This speaks to me.
What about
I
that?
mean,
What about
maybe
that
I'm just
car?
That sigh was
That
so like.
car. If only this car had a dragon just making love to it. You just have not surfed enough DeviantArt.
Oh my god.
DeviantArt's a scary place.
Let's not talk
You say
about
great?
fan art that we
Scary.
wish we
Oh,
had
I was gonna
seen.
say. I mean, yeah, there's some great art out
No.
there. But let's not forget that half of it's filled with
Yeah.
I'm.
Woody and Buzz from Toy Story.
I've
doing
seen
it.
things. I
I've
am
seen
jaded. I am an old internet goer. I've
Oh,
been on
yeah.
DeviantArt since 2007. Well, I'm not on DeviantArt anymore, but my profile's still up. I created my account in like 2007, and it's still there.
youngin'.
At the
And it's
height.
like, well,
at the height.
Back when,
Yeah.
when I was in middle school, which
I've
was
seen shit
It's all
I
about-
wish I could forget.
1999 and to 2000.
Okay.
Shit.
Is that
It's
what
been
I was
around.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can say
I don't
shit.
know. I don't know if this is like basic cable or
no.
network
No.
TV.
It's the only thing that the only thing we have to abide by is iTunes explicit
Explicit.
language.
I don't know what. Okay.
I don't.
Now I
And
know.
that's-
Yeah.
and yeah.
Shit.
Shit's okay because it's not like vulgar. I mean, I guess if that was every single word we use in the podcast, maybe.
Yeah.
But like basic cable knows that word.
Yeah. So that's what I think about it. If it's not okay on prime time, then it's fine.
yeah. Anyway.
PG-13.
Anyway, what were we saying? DeviantArt.
DeviantArt.
been
No,
around for
my
a long time.
DeviantArt I've had my DeviantArt since 2006. But I took almost everything down because I used it for photography. I know that like most people use it for furry porn or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, that's
yes.
I don't think most people. I mean, there's more than that.
Well, it has a reputation.
I think that might have been the birth.
Most people, talk about DeviantArt kind of like in, like, oh, haha, DeviantArt. Yeah, it's like
it's just because there's so much of things that people aren't expecting on it.
It doesn't have a lot of I followed like a bunch of photographers when I used it, and I posted my ballet photos there. But I used it before I got like a Canon, like a DSLR, when I was using a little digital point and shoot back in like, before 2010. My photos were crap, and I've taken most of my stuff down. But if you look up, CPenny on DeviantArt, I think my account is still up. So anyway,
what were we talking about before DeviantArt?
I don't know.
Final Fantasy? No.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. So that'll be cool. They said some gameplays from it.
I'm excited. It's coming out way sooner than I thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, they said the developers took home the game over the holidays and played through it, and they said, yeah, it's pretty much done. So great.
What a change from like what I'm used to with like Final Fantasy.
I mean, but the thing is, like, they've over the last few decades, the game developers kind of have learned, like, and now that the internet's a thing, because back in the day it really wasn't the same. And now it's like. They haven't released any information. That's the best kind of developer.
Great. Yeah.
It's like, don't leak this stuff because you're just going to get your fans' hopes up, and then their expectations jump. And
yeah.
And it doesn't even matter. It's like if you release a trailer like too early in advance, like, and don't say anything until the game releases, that's still like a bad move. It feels like you literally have to. It has to be something like, I feel like Bethesda did it right with Fallout. It's like, here's the game that we've been working on in secret forever, and it never leaked. And it's coming out in 3 months. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, that's great. Because then people will just judge the game for what it is.
They have a couple months to get excited about it.
Yeah. But then again, if it's a sequel to a game, everyone has expectations anyways. So that's also shooting yourself in the foot. So I guess they did the best thing they could.
They did. I mean, because they announced it a while back, but just with like very vague stuff. So.
For Mass Effect? Yeah. They said the next adventure would be like.
It was just like.
Completely different.
It was just like
doesn't matter.
Locations, like showing locations of the cool planets, and everyone was like, "Oh, is that a Krogan?"
So, yep.
I'm
excited for that one. There's other games coming out that are. But that one's, I think,
that's
top of my list.
main one.
I think the only one I'm like really excited for is Red Dead 2, but that one's not slated until fall.
I thought it was spring.
No, fall 2017.
Oh,
fall.
I just made that up in my head, I guess.
No.
Wait, spring's later than fall.
No, it's not. Spring is...
Well, what comes sooner?
Spring is like March, April, May.
January, February.
Spring, summer, is fall. September, October.
So before summer.
Spring is before summer.
So fall is after summer.
Yes.
We don't have seasons here in San Diego. Don't judge me. We don't... What? It doesn't. You could go outside. It's perfect.
It's the same
all the time, except for when it rains.
It's early January, and it might as well be summer here.
I don't know what month it is.
Yeah.
You can't know. You don't know when you're in San Diego. Only a calendar and the internet.
We never know what month it is here in San Diego.
Hey Siri, what month is it? Hey Siri. Siri.
She's asleep.
Hey Siri. Why isn't she?
I don't know.
She doesn't like me anymore.
I found some information about Cube on Wikipedia.
Cube? I found some information about Cube.
Hey Siri, why don't you talk to me anymore?
I can't answer that.
Sorry.
Hey Siri. Hey
Siri.
Why doesn't she work?
I don't know.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Oh, yeah, you changed it.
I changed.
Remember, you changed it so like she would respond to you when you don't yell.
I don't yell. Okay.
She found information about cubes. If anyone wants that.
Okay. Anyways, I don't know what were we talking about. Mass Effect. Right? No,
Mass Effect.
Other games coming out.
No, the only one I'm like super excited for this year, and I'm gonna pre-order it as soon as it's available. Well, can you already pre-order Red Dead?
No.
No.
Maybe in a game store because they'll let you pre-order anything.
No, I'm like that. That's
even a rumor.
That is my game. That's my big.
We'll take your money.
That's my big event for the. That's my big event for the year.
Well, hopefully, because we played some Grand Theft Auto Online, and I'm not like Grand Theft Auto doesn't appeal to me, but it is. I will admit it is fun multiplayer wise when you have a lot of people. But if they have that with Red Dead, like that'd be amazing. So you can go and buy your your Lambo stagecoach or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we should talk about that's not video games?
Real quick, I was going to say, I don't know if it's going to be
games.
good, but I am excited to see that new game Horizon, which is not a sequel of anything.
Yeah,
Might
not
be
60
cool.
frames a second, but since it's exclusive, it means you have to play it.
Anything that's not video games. Well, no, we're Steam Power Draft wise, we're still getting we're still just preparing for our next show. Really excited for Escondido because it's Brian's first performance.
It's gonna be fun.
Really fun. Can't wait. I don't know. David's got his microphone in his sandwich.
I'm posting this. This hilarious photo that happened earlier today.
You're gonna get like sandwich on
We're
your
gonna go
mic.
see the movie Arrival later.
Maybe.
I've heard it's good.
Okay.
We don't need to tell personal details.
What?
Okay.
Sometime.
I'm always afraid people are gonna like.
What?
I don't know
figure
where
out-
we're going.
They know enough.
No, like later. Sometime down the line.
A
Okay.
few years from now, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't wait up.
No, I'm excited to see that. I've heard it's good.
Yeah. I know. I was afraid I was gonna miss that one.
I'm trying to find the best caption for this.
Okay.
What's... Oh.
Camille's curly hair got caught in the curly headphone cable.
No one's been really talking to us. Like, there's no questions.
Yeah, Siri doesn't respond to me anymore.
Well, like the chat's kind of dead. There's no one on Twitter. We got like 3 questions before the stream started.
I mean, let's
I don't
just
know
be
if it's
honest.
because of the time change.
And Bunny's not here.
Yeah,
Let's not kid ourselves.
and people just stopped caring.
I mean, probably stopped caring a long time before that, but
I don't know. Maybe it's the time change. Last week we had a lot more people.
well, on Engineer-eteers, it's you have to be. We only announce it like a day in advance now. It seems like, but just because it's hard to get folks to commit all the time, so. And we thought earlier would be better because waiting until 3 was for certain folks to be able to attend. Okay, I posted that picture.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everyone go look at my Instagram around this time if you're
right
looking.
now.
Spine Raptor on Instagram. You can see Camille's hair
It
got
hurt.
caught in the cable. Like, because they're
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I know the audio listeners can't see, but the headphone cables are those springy, curly ones, so they, the cord can stretch.
That's
but-
funny.
And her curly hair got caught in it. Yep. Alright.
Okay. Do you want me to do questions? I mean, I have a few.
Yeah, let's answer all 2 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Oops, I
No,
accidentally.
yeah, there's
closed
really nothing
Twitter.
really to talk about. We have the same show is coming up in February.
It's been the same show coming
Yeah,
up for a
so-
while.
I mean, this is still better than what SPG hour or whatever when you ran out of things to talk about. I think this is
yeah, I mean,
still a little more casual.
granted,
and
we do have
easier.
things to talk about. It's just we
We
really
can-
only have video games to talk about. The consistence is we're working on the act a bunch, and there's not much else to talk about.
Yeah,
because
it's not
like, so this happened at rehearsal today. Like, everything has to be kind of secretive up
Yeah.
until the show. So
We've got 3 questions.
3.
In your opinion, what's the most important / greatest invention? GPS.
The wheel.
yeah, no, I mean,
I think GPS and like having that on your phone and accessible to anyone probably has saved lives. I don't know.
just computing. I would say
Smartphones.
computing in general because everything stems
Yeah.
from that. So, that kind of stuff, computing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what part of computing is the most important. But
Or
just
penicillin and modern medicine.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic.
Vaccines. Yeah, Camille's
Some
allergic.
people are allergic to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, but like modern medicine and vaccines. That's the greatest
I mean,
invention, probably.
we could just say something like video game consoles, but at the same time, there has always been a form of entertainment, so that's a consistent. And naturally, we're going to get entertainment from life-saving devices that we create.
Yeah.
If that life-saving device can also play a Final Fantasy in the future. But I mean, a lot of our technology comes from the drive to go to space. NASA's responsible for basically responsible for cell phones because the only had to be a reason to make computers super small, because you had to get them up into space.
Yes.
So what's the best invention is I would just start at the fire.
Yeah.
Started there.
There we go.
And now
can't go wrong with that.
And now we can ask Siri what. Hey Siri, what's the weather like?
You should have asked her what the best invention is.
Oh. Hey Siri, what's the best invention?
Checking my sources. My web search turned something up for what's the best invention. Have a look.
Okay, she's not going to tell you. She's going to make you work for it.
I could Google it, Siri. I just want to know what your opinion was.
Maybe if you ask her what her opinion is on the best invention.
Maybe we should just ask Siri all these questions.
Siri.
Hey Siri, ask her what's the...
No, your Siri's now. It recognizes each voice.
Hey Siri, what's the best advice you've ever received?
To whom should I send your message?
Okay, well.
Okay. My Siri is a British man.
Mine's an Australian lady.
Should I send your message?
No, stop.
Your message says, my Siri is a British man. Ready to send it.
Who are you sending it to?
Cancel.
Who's he going to send it to?
I don't know.
Okay. Then.
Goodbye, Siri.
Okay. Anyways, as amusing as that is, what can we talk about? Oh, wait, didn't you have questions?
Yeah. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Oh.
That's one of our questions. That's a really hard one.
That's another one of those ones that,
because, life is very long, and I don't remember every
there's a lot of
experience
great
I've had.
There's some good advice that I've gotten for business stuff through people who've already done it before.
Yeah.
Also through performing, theater arts and stuff. Like there's so much advice.
Yeah.
Maybe general advice would be an easier way to what's the best general advice that would apply to anyone?
I don't know, because now I'm just thinking about dance stuff.
Yeah, I mean very specific stuff that wouldn't apply.
Lock
to most
your
people.
ankles and hold your stomach muscles in.
If you fall
Wait,
on stage,
lock your ankles? That's like the worst advice ever. You're not supposed to lock your ankles.
Yeah, you are. If you're on point, you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that advice doesn't go. That's not going to work.
This only applies if you wear point shoes.
I mean,
Pretty sure they say don't lock your ankles when you're doing anything.
One
'cause
that's
you'll pass out, right? Is that the thing?
No.
Not on point shoes.
You have to lock your ankles if you're on point.
Okay, but they say when did they say don't lock your ankles? That's
I
just
don't
not a
know.
healthy thing to do, right?
This doesn't apply to anyone who's not wearing point shoes.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. So general advice that anyone, whether they're a ballet dancer or a musician or an artist, how about just general life lessons, advice?
Breathe through your stomach.
Don't be an asshole. I don't know.
Don't be. Who said that? This is advice
Me?
that you received.
Chelsea.
I don't know.
Now we're just changing the question.
I'm really bad at these kind of questions.
All right,
I don't
next
remember.
question. This is not this one. None of us were.
I
None of
only
us
have
were
one
game.
more question, and it's not something that me and Camille can answer. Please send us more questions.
We weren't game for some of these questions for whatever reason.
Well, what was it like getting to work with Professor Elemental on the Weird Weird West and Sky Sharks? Will there be more collaborations?
We'll definitely do collaborations in the future. It's basically if our time and whatever we're coming out with next syncs up with the other artist. But yeah, we did the Cog is Dead collaboration too. And how was it? It was as the best thing about technology is it allows collaborations like this now, because we can record something, send it to him, he can record something, send it back to us, and collaborations on a scale like that are great. That happens all the time. It's how we did SteamWorld Heist with people that are in Sweden, and that's the country they're in, right?
Where? Oh,
Sweden?
yeah.
I'm making sure that I didn't just forget where they are from. That's great. That's how I work with Gearbox. Like, we don't have to be in the same state. Like, everything can be done digitally. There's really no reason to even meet in person. That's not true. We've met for Elemental too. So, yeah, no, it all works out. You. I don't know how those things come about. Someone says it. It's always like a thing. Like you talk about it in the past. you'd be like, oh yeah, we should all collaborate. Like, yeah, and then eventually someone puts the first foot forward, and then it kind of just happens from there. But there has to be, I guess, a mutual respect or something. Like, I don't know. Those kind of just worked because we were friendly with them. But we've met other artists where we don't interact with as much, so that's probably why we wouldn't have a collaboration with them.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's been like, you should collaborate with them. Like, I think Cog is Dead will be on one of a song in the future for us because we were on one of theirs. We were working on Vice Quadrant when they did when Cog is Dead did
the jelly donut.
I can't remember the name of the title.
The Incredible Jelly Donut Juicer?
Something, the Jelly Donut Juicer.
That's the song. I don't know
The
if you're
Amazing,
talking...
what's the title of it?
The song?
Yeah.
I think it's the Incredible Jelly Donut Juicer.
I'm trying to remember the chorus, but anyways, so we sung on all that, and obviously we can remember it, but it's one of those long, it's a funny title. It's a funny song. But
okay.
Yeah, we did that one. We were working on Vice Quadrant, so we're like, yeah, we don't really have something to put you on this one, but let's put a pin in that. So in the future, we'll have something with John from the Cog is Dead.
Flying One Love wants to know what kind of sandwich you're eating.
It's bread with peanut butter in the middle. Because I didn't eat before
all right,
the
here
podcast.
we go. We're getting a few more questions now.
I decided to make a sandwich right before because, well, you know how food works.
Yay! My desperate plea for questions brought some more in. So
can't you see we're dying on the podcast and we've only been doing it for
I don't know.
Wait, when did we start?
Sometimes
12?
we have more to talk about. Sometimes we don't. I mean, it's still fun. Okay. Only questions that are occurring to me are things like, who did you romance in Dragon Age? Well, I can answer that because I played Inquisition.
Which one?
Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah,
on
maybe.
The stream
okay.
On another last podcast.
I only played Inquisition and I romanced Cullen. Yeah, we did talk about this, but what about you?
I romanced Solus in Inquisition.
I feel like we're repeating the same things we've already answered in past podcasts.
Sorry.
But then again, we eventually we'll have some. This is only our 13th. To be fair, I was expecting the 13th episode to be kind of meh. So
thanks.
13. Yeah.
Apollo 13.
You can ask me and
Friday
Camille like more ballet themed questions if you want.
We did that the last time.
Well,
It was,
yeah,
like,
but
all
I mean,
ballet last time.
Okay, sure.
All I imagine is just some listener out there is like, they've already talked about this. Why can't they keep it straight? I'm like, because the podcast isn't our main.
Ask us something completely different.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like
different.
I mean, there's plenty of questions out there. Just because we talked about ballet on one doesn't mean we can't talk about it again. But I'm just saying.
But
like,
I definitely remember the Dragon Age one.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking about didn't we just talk about this last week?
I don't know. I haven't been here as much.
What's your favorite kind of hat?
I don't look good
Next
in
question.
hats.
Okay.
Why are we even asking questions? Do we even want to answer? It doesn't seem like anyone wants to answer.
If I have a good answer.
I guess I don't have any good answers.
Question for the Walter workers: what musical instruments can you all play? In elementary school, I played the violin, and I can kind of play the ukulele, but I don't practice.
It's your podcast now.
I used to play the cello. I really loved it, but I stopped playing. I wish I hadn't.
Aw, well, there's always time to get back into it. You got
Of
your
course,
whole life
my
ahead
whole
of you.
life. I definitely want to take it up again.
Yeah.
See because I used to be able to read music perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think I've lost that ability.
I never learned how to read music. I faked my way through school.
I loved playing Pachelbel Cannon.
I played violin for a few years in elementary school, and every time I went to music class and they put sheet music in front of me, I never learned how to read it. It was always gibberish to me, no matter how hard I tried. Like, my brain just wasn't wired that way.
Made sense to me.
And I would just listen to the song I was supposed to learn how to play, and I just learned it by ear. And like, they would put the sheet music in front of me in class, and I would just like look at the paper but zone out and just play it based on memory.
Yeah, I really liked that feeling of getting something set in front of you that is completely new and being able to look at it and just stare at it and play it.
Yeah,
is like a really rewarding feeling. Wow. This must be what people who play instruments feel like, which I did. But now I've completely lost the ability to remember. And I don't play anything else. Well, the jug maybe.
You play a mean jug.
Play a mean jug.
I play a mean triangle for that matter. Here, real quick. They want to know who you romanced in Dragon Age 1 and 2, since you didn't say.
Oh, for 2, it was Anders. And 1 was oh my god, I'm completely blanking on his name. The guy who was like, oh my god.
The guy.
Let me just
I don't know what you're talking about. I never played them.
Oh my
Wait,
god!
Can't you have
remember.
Can't
What's
you have
his
like
name?
hate sex in one of them or something? Like even if you don't like a character, you can still romance them.
That's the second one. I tried really hard to get the elf guy.
I can't. He's just like, but he hated you too
I
much.
definitely have played these games, and for some reason I'm blanking
whatever
on all of their names.
I can't. I watched the entire season of Westworld and loved it, and I still he's just Anthony Hopkins. I don't.
Oh yeah,
I almost swore, but like I don't know. I don't retain names.
Alistair. Yes.
He is he in Inquisition?
No.
Okay, I thought he was.
Oh wait.
Never mind.
Sorry. Yes.
Wait. Yeah, he is. But you can't romance him.
Yes, he's in it.
He's in it though.
It depends on your previous choices.
Well, I never played the other games.
Yeah, but
So I
like
don't
whatever you
know.
chose in the keep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
Wait, in Inquisition, I don't remember. Do you like? I can't remember if I created my hawk or not, or if she was
had
just
to.
a random person.
You had the choice of creating her
one
right before the scene where she.
Yeah, because I think I did create.
Yeah.
I didn't have any other previous games, obviously, and I just like created a hawk on the spot.
Mine didn't really work, so it still wanted me to like.
Oh, that's weird.
Create her. I don't know.
Let's see. Trying to get some more questions. What's one of your proudest moments? David's not here, so we're just gonna kind of. Let's see.
All these broad ones about life are like hard. I'm trying to think of things.
They're hard to. What's one of your proudest moments? I don't know. I mean, like when I'm on the spot, I can't think of anything.
I'm sure, like if I came back tomorrow, I'd have all these answers.
Yeah. I don't know. I know this is really exciting. Sorry, guys.
I think I talked about this last time. I guess from a performing standpoint, being able to perform George Balanchine's work on stage.
Yeah,
that's a big privilege. And I understudied Ruby's, which was one of the hardest ballets to learn. And I stepped in one time in rehearsal, and never having done it before, and I did it in front of like the woman who was there representing from the Balanchine Trust. And she was really impressed because I had never actually stepped in and done it with everyone before, and I did it perfectly, and I even impressed myself. And I felt good then.
Yeah. I don't know. My proudest moments are like getting through a show when I'm deathly ill with the flu and just not dying. You know, that's pretty like, oh, I can't believe I was in good enough shape to do that.
Not dying every day is a proud moment for all of us.
I don't know. I've taken a lot of spills on stage, and just getting through that and not letting it ruin your life is like, okay,
you move
you
on.
feel good about yourself. But I don't know. That's a hard one. All these life questions. What's your proudest moment? That kind of stuff. Like, it's hard to talk about.
It's
broad. Okay, Camille. Well, this is for all of us, but do you listen to My Chemical Romance, or what type of music do you like?
I do not listen to My Chemical Romance. I don't think I could tell you a single My Chemical Romance song.
I know I have one in my iTunes library.
They did like a cover for the Watchmen soundtrack, I think.
Yeah, I like that.
That might have been, I don't remember what it was. And what kind of music do I like? I like a lot of different things.
Everything, anything that I don't know. I don't listen to a specific genre. I listen to songs I like.
I like, everyone says this, but I mean the Beatles were so like important as a kid, and if we're talking about like current bands that I still follow, it's very few. I still follow Arcade Fire.
I don't even like Arcade Fire.
There's a smaller band called Cherry Ghost that I really like from the UK.
I think I talked about them on your stream on New Year's Eve.
I kind of.
I feel like didn't we just answer?
Oh, see, I wasn't here.
No, that's
it's because of the video game stream we answered.
It's because we stream too much.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like I'm getting asked the same questions.
I kind of follow Green Day still a little bit. I did not realize that they had a new album out already.
Me neither.
I just kind of check in occasionally. Other than that, though,
What
I
other
kind of
questions have been asked that Camille can answer?
That's okay. Just
I mean, we can repeat it.
no. I mean, it's just the ones that are coming in that we're answering.
Here's a question: what questions do you hate to answer?
I probably just questions, I guess.
Well, I like answering questions, but you know,
No, I like it.
it's
There's
the
ones
one
that we get sometimes, like at conventions, that are like repeated a lot.
I'll be honest. Like you asked, you know, what questions do I hate to answer? I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to be mean to anyone who's answered, who's asked these. It's just because anywhere we go, I have to answer it over and over again. I don't like answering questions about how I keep all my hair under the wig, because it's like every single Q&A we go to, someone has to ask, how do you keep all that hair under the wig? It's like the way anyone else does.
I mean, we every once in a while, I don't want to say there's a bad question.
There's not a bad
question. It's just ones that you answer a lot.
There's just ones you're tired of answering.
And I guess it gets to the point where it's like, everyone knows what my favorite color is.
Yeah.
You find it out on your own.
Don't ask me my favorite color.
It's kind of like when you go to Comic-Con and people ask actors, how are you like your character?
Or
what sort of funny things happened on set?
Yeah. What's the funniest prank that's ever happened on set? You know?
They've answered this a million times.
And like I've been to tons of Comic-Con panels where people ask the cast who's the prankster or what funny pranks have happened on set, and the answer is always the same. They all kind of just look at each other and like, well, we don't really prank each other, we're just there doing our job. I don't know, people have this idea that it's like, you know, wacky hijinks and no. Movie sets are boring. I've worked on them. Anyway,
the best prankster in Steam Powered Giraffe, Prankster McGee, he was fired after the first prank.
You know, because no one likes being pranked.
Yeah, because we got a job to do. You're making our jobs harder. Ha 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 ha. It's all
well, it's like you have to imagine what would be interesting to answer. Answering what my favorite color is isn't an interesting question. I don't know.
I guess the best questions are ones that get us to rant and rave.
Yeah.
Or ramble on for hours. Like, what's the best questions to ask? That's a good question.
Or questions about our craft. I don't know. I mean.
But that's not to say that we don't get good questions. There's I'm surprised at like the one I do get when they're, because it's just that at panels and stuff at conventions, it's usually we open up Q&As and it's the same stuff. And I mean, it's one of those things, like you hear some fans like in the audience groaning like, oh my God, they're answering this again. Yeah. I've been here 5 years in a row. They have to answer the same. So they understand that. But for us, it's like, well, you might have been to this convention 5 times in a row, but we've been to this convention as well as every other convention you know, like, and so for us it's just like it's a deadening thing. But I mean, we happily answer them. I don't think we've ever at a panel, like when, I mean, a podcast, we're doing it because it's like, you know, we're being a little more unfiltered, I suppose. But
maybe it's like best to answer questions that are like, you know, signs of the times, like what's your favorite movie that's come out in the last year or something like that.
What's your favorite blah blah blah, like, you know, things that might be more relevant, not just like your color, which is something that doesn't really change. Is like, I like answering stuff about what's your favorite current movie. That stuff's fine, you know. I mean, most people,
most of the questions that are the ones that are kind of like meh or cringy to answer,
or like, do you ever find yourself acting like your character out of makeup, that kind of stuff, where it's like,
it's more no? I feel like the worst questions are probably the ones that are aimed at figuring out, are you just like me?
Yeah,
that one.
It's that kind of thing.
I mean, you know, you're gonna garner some of this stuff when we talk about it. So you talk about Mass Effect, I like that same thing about Mass Effect, like that kind of stuff. But when we get a lot of the same, like, what's your favorite books? What's your favorite TV shows? What's your favorite music? Like every panel we ever do ever. And like we gladly answer them because it is that person's first time there. But
and that's something else too.
It's hard to find a perfect question though.
There is none. The longer we go on, the more dead inside we are.
Some other questions that, I'm not saying these are bad questions if you ask them. You know, we'll always answer them, but a few more that I've seen every single place we go that I kind of can recite it, and I could probably answer it myself because I've heard you answer it so many times, is like, how did you know, what inspired Steam Powered Giraffe, or like what's another one, like
we're just gonna start making up things because we've been
or another one is like, do you have any advice for someone trying to start their own creative act or something like that?
Don't do it. I don't know.
Those kind of questions where it's like, At this point, like, you have an answer already. Like, you know exactly how to answer it because we've heard it so many times.
But I mean, that's just one aspect of it. Obviously, we answer. I don't think we've ever been on a panel and then been like, yeah, we've answered this a million times. Go look it up on the internet. Like, I don't think we've ever done that. But
they want to know.
But I don't expect anyone. If any of this sounds like complaining to anyone out there who's listening, it's more
sharing our experiences.
It's more a reflection of experience rather than expecting something of fans. Like I would do the same thing. Like if I had to ask a question to one of my, like, a show creator of something that I like, or I wouldn't be knowledgeable of what they've answered before. But from our point of view, it's like, boy, we certainly people really love to know our favorite. Let's get it out now. My favorite color is red and black. I really like giraffes. I like dinosaurs. I don't read books. I don't watch too many TV shows. I like all the same movies you do. And I like all the same video games you do as well.
My favorite colors are purple and green and blue. I like cool colors. I don't have a favorite director, although I like a lot of movies from, like, Ridley Scott and stuff. Wes Anderson is good. I like Ridley Scott, actually. But my favorite book is The Dark Tower. I don't have a favorite movie because there's too many of them, but I really like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I don't really have a favorite animal. Maybe, like, cliched horses. I like unicorns.
Is this something we're doing? Like, do I have to do this?
No, I was just running with it. Studio Ghost.
At the same time, someone's like, that was really informative.
Studio Ghost. I can answer this for you. No, David doesn't listen to MCR.
What's MCR?
My Chemical Romance.
No.
Sorry.
I probably know a song by them, but
yeah,
it's probably
isn't
more in the
there
vein
one
of, like,
called Mama?
I don't know.
I think there's one called Mama. Or
I listen to more CCR than I do MCR.
Yeah, CCR.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
So that if that tells
CCR.
you more about my music taste, that's probably it.
Okay. A lot of people don't like their voice on tape, and other artists who hate listening to themselves sing. What do you think?
I hate my voice.
I'm just going to start every question with, like, first I'm going to let everyone know that, yes, I've answered this question before, but I'd be more than happy to answer it again.
Well, yeah, I think at this point...
Because then people can know, like, oh, I guess people do...
all these people, it's the first time they've asked that question. It's really hard for me to find things that I know for sure we've never answered before.
But does that also, if I spin it positively... Sorry, I'm like have a bunch of bread in my mouth and peanut butter. I'm going to keep talking even though I haven't chewed it out fully. I'm like saving it here. Just
like a squirrel just packing it away.
Well, let me chew first.
Okay, well, I can tell you that it was really... I had to get used to listening to Soliton when I was listening to, like, the beta version or whatever after we recorded it, because that's the first time I had ever sung, like, ever. Like, of course I sing I'll sing in the car to myself or something once in a while, but I don't sing really, and you somehow talked me into lending my voice to Soliton, and it took a lot of getting used to listening to myself played back. Yeah, and I still don't really like my voice, but I'm okay with it. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't really
It's not like I can change it, so I've made peace with my voice.
Yeah, I feel like, doesn't everyone think that their voice sounds weird?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, the only reason that, we keep doing I'm just like everyone else who doesn't like the sound of their own voice, but then when you make an album, because it's more like, I like performing though, and then people say, I really like your voice. That's the only reason why we keep doing this. If everyone said, you're not very good, I don't really like the like, that's why we do it. Like, because I don't think I'm a very good judge of my own voice. Like, I don't think anyone is. But you kind of teach yourself to, like, just kind of tune it out, I guess, so you can get the job done. And yeah, you might say, oh, I really like that take of mine, but eventually you're too overly critical of everything that you do yourself. Yeah. That's why it's easy, like, when I record you guys or something, it's like, well, I know what I'm looking for, and like, I'll let you know what I think is bad, but you know what I mean. It's more about pitches. It's more about timing and
Luckily,
stuff.
my voice is not featured in my
the qualities are, we hate different qualities of our own voice, but that's because most people, I don't know anyone who's like, I'm so great at this and I am amazing. Like if you have a skill that's like, I'm really good at this, I really feel confident in that. That's one thing. Like I feel a little confidence in some singing, but I will never go and say I'm amazing. Like,
yeah.
But
well, once you think that you sound perfect, you don't try anymore.
No,
so
I mean, you always want that uphill struggle of doing that. Anyways, I can say, yes, we get that question a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe the positive spin on that, what I was saying earlier, is that then people who ask the questions can know that they're just like other people who like us. They think the same way. And doesn't that help them? I don't know, maybe it doesn't. It helps them know that, oh, they're not alone in the world. They're asking the same questions that other people are, that like us for similar reasons. That doesn't help anyone, does that? I'm trying to see it from a fan point of view, but I don't play into fandoms too much. So I'm never asking questions to creators too much.
I'm not saying it's like idol worship all the time. It's not like not everyone takes it to that extreme, but it's the idea of wanting to know that the person you look up to or the person who inspires you likes the things that you do. You want to feel like you're the same person because it helps you, the empathy, you want to feel like you live similar lives. I don't know.
That question's actually pretty good because we hate our stuff. Like we hate it more than any people who actually legitimately hate our stuff.
I have a really hard time watching videos of our dances with the SPG dances, like Hold Me and Turn Back the Clock. I need to watch them because you need to know if you're doing something wrong, or you need to be like, oh, I can fix that. That could look better. You have to watch it, but it's really hard, and I hate it. I cringe through it.
There's always that
no one likes
overly
what they
critical
do.
about yourself, and you kind of have to step back and it's really tough to kind of just say, okay, it's not that bad. It's really hard. You have to kind of train yourself to look at it like it's not you.
Yeah.
Basically. Because, maybe some people don't have to do that. I don't know. But especially when you have comic culture, it's like, I can go on the internet and feel bad about myself in a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not everyone can do that. So not everyone gets to do that. But knowing that is like extra pressure to just be like, well, I'm going to continue doing what I'm going to do. Like if I want to feel bad about myself, I can make myself feel bad listening to my own stuff,
right?
Whatever we create or whatever, whether that's a dance or a song or something, but you kind of have to get over that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to create the content that you like.
You can't be like.
You don't want to live yourself in fear.
You can't be self-conscious to a fault if you're gonna get into the performing business. Yeah. You got to get over your fears of embarrassment. I have nightmarish stories I could tell about embarrassing things that happened to me on stage, but I'm still here, I'm still standing, and I'm still creating.
Make that one error, sing that wrong note, be real flat on a song, suddenly you're still living and the world goes on.
I think I talked about this previously, but having to last minute, fill in for someone who's sick and you have to wear their costume, which is not fitted to you, and flashing the audience. Well, luckily I was wearing a nude colored leotard, but it completely came off and I was on stage and I had to keep dancing. I had to get through the song. The piece, that kind of stuff. Other embarrassing moments, things that happened to me on stage, falling.
That was ballet. Right?
That was ballet.
Just
not
make sure no one's
Steam Power Giraffe. No. I way back when I danced, someone got sick, and for some reason I was the only person available who could fill in for them, and I had to wear their costume. My costume wasn't available because my other cast was wearing it, and it completely slipped down to my rib cage on stage, and I was wearing a flesh colored leotard underneath, but from the audience you can't tell, and it was this horrible, it was really embarrassing, but that's the kind of stuff that you just whatever, it happened. you can't change it.
The audience is never against you.
Yeah.
Even if they hate you, they don't want to see you fail to the point where they feel bad.
It's the same kind of social anxiety, paranoia that anyone goes through, where I said something stupid, and then you obsess over that stupid comment you made forever, and you play it back in your head, and you're like, oh my God, they probably thought I was such an idiot, where in reality that person is not thinking about
everything
what you said.
From elementary school.
Yeah. That person, you're the only one who's thinking about it years later. The other person is not. It's the same, something embarrassing that happens to you on stage is the same thing. I guarantee you the audience isn't going home and talking about, unless it's something, unless it happens to someone famous, they're not going to go home and talk about it for the rest of their lives. You're the only one who's going to think about it for the rest of your life.
Well, we got 10 minutes, I think, and then we should stop.
Okay. Here's a question that we've never been asked before, I think. Do you have a particular leaning to types of charitable organizations, like nature, health-based, overseas, that kind of stuff? When you donate to a charity, what do you lean towards?
It's too complicated. Even the ones that that you think are okay are actually evil.
Well, I mean,
so that's the hardest part with charities, right?
I don't know
if
talking
I've
about
ever like donated to a certain.
Well, I'm just talking about like
trying to think.
if something you buy if you have the option to put some money towards an organization, like I do the monthly subscription to Munchery. They send you like meals, you know.
That's not a charity.
No, they have an option when you order.
Yeah, you can choose which. I don't know what I chose.
When you order a meal, they donate a percentage of what you paid to an organization, and you can choose the organization. And I chose the what's it called? I chose the San Diego Humane Society. You know, that my meal money goes towards helping animals. That kind
well,
of
it's
thing.
tough because it's not like there's an organization where you're like, don't give them to this. It's like overall, like you're looking at what they stand for and what they're trying to achieve, and you're like, yes, it's all good. But then if you get into
it's hard to know
semantics, it's like, well, you don't know what it's being used for. It's like so all of them deserve funding. Or
it's a good question, though.
It's
a good question.
Company or something, but I don't know.
Here's a Steam Powered Giraffe question that, is good to, I know we've reiterated this before, but maybe not on the podcast. Studio Ghost asks, do I have permission to cover quintessential songs on my YouTube channel?
We will never give specific licenses to anyone. If you must obtain at a certain point, I'm getting into more like, if you're going through a publisher or something, they're going to do right by you and us. But if you're trying to do it on your own, like, we can't give a specific license to anyone. Just like, yes, cover our songs. Like, all we can say is like, if you're gonna, we're not gonna give everyone the A-OK to do it because we get so many requests on emails, and technically we have to license we'd have to give a synchronization license to it'll and we're not gonna do that. So basically,
I think though, like YouTube is the only one that's safe. Because it'll tag the songs automatically. But we're not officially.
If it's close enough, like
it.
if you do a cover of one of our songs, like, and if sometimes it's pretty good at like, oh, they use the same tempo. Yeah. They use the backing track that they found or something, and it matches it because it sounds almost like ours. But for the most part, YouTube isn't going to know either. It's just like, obviously, personally, we like all that stuff. We like seeing it and whatnot. But as we see legally, like, you just one of those things that. You just kind of have to say, like, no, we can't sanction anything. We won't sanction anything officially, but obviously we like seeing fan art, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that's what we can say. If you're going to go make a cover of a song and sell CDs or digital downloads of that cover, go through the right means to do that. And if you don't know how, then I don't think we need to give lessons on how to do cover songs ourselves.
Yeah.
There's enough information out there, and you'll be more. Wiser for the wear, or is that a saying? If you go and figure it out all yourself, because we cover songs obviously ourselves, and we figure it out. There's definitely resources online if you need to figure out how to do that. It doesn't involve directly talking to us. That's a weird question because it feels like I know fans are like, well, we're not going to sell it. We just want to do it for fun. I'm like, well. I don't know that. I just have to say it. Speak generically. I don't know.
Okay. I guess we're just about done. No, we still have 7 minutes. I don't know. It's let's see. I think this one, I definitely for David, I feel like I know what your answer would be, but where was it? What's the most memorable class you've ever taken?
I mean,
or maybe the most important class you've ever taken.
I mean, the stuff in there's a few general ed classes, but mostly it's like, is it really the class and more the teacher?
Yeah.
Because
definitely
a teacher can make any subject good. Like I liked some of my biology classes that didn't have any interest in it because the teacher made it practical to whatever the world was at the time.
I had a great history teacher in high school, independent study. Yeah, I don't know.
But as far as like skills, because there's also teachers that you hate, but then you also like the subject matter. And so I guess it depends on what you're trying to learn. If you really want to learn something, you can learn it from anyone, even a terrible teacher, because, you're kind of self-teaching yourself if you're really not paying attention to the teacher at that point. But, you're putting yourself in the position to learn. So that's, and I don't know, I like mime. I like the musical theater.
Yeah.
I like learning stuff because you start out not knowing anything, and then through experience and performing as well as doing recitals and basically you're just like trying and failing a million times in school, especially with performing arts, and honing like some sense of like what the right path is, but it's all very vague.
Yeah.
And if you're learning something with history, it's a little more like, it's a little different than arts.
Yeah.
Naturally. So I'd say the teacher though.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers.
I had a in high school / independent study. So see, I wasn't really homeschooled. I don't use the term homeschooled. In my through 8th through 12th grade, I was an independent study student, but we had a campus. And we still went to school. We still had classes and had teachers 2 times a week. It was basically more structured like college. And I had a math teacher who, I was dreadful at math, but he was a really wonderful teacher. He has passed away since, he's now passed away. I was really sad when I found out a few years after I graduated, but he did his best to help the students understand math, and he was this much older guy, and I will say he was adorable because he wrote poetry as well as taught math. It was such a wonderful blending of arts, math, and poetry.
Yeah.
But I remember I had him for 2 years in a row. He taught geometry and algebra too, so I had him in 10th and 11th grade, and I still remember on the last day of class before the summer break, he would bring in his big binder full of poems that he wrote, and he would like read them to us, and that was a memorable class, not because I was good at math, but because he was just such an interesting character.
Well, I think most students who want to be students, do try to look up to people who are trying to teach them something. So
yeah,
that happened with our mime class at Jerry Hager. I mean, we still meet with him because he was such a big influence on us doing stuff like that steam-powered giraffe. I mean, everyone has those memorable teachers, and I think that's more. Because as a teacher, you want to inspire, and I think that's the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher.
Yeah, and even though I didn't pursue mathematics, like that teacher, I have really fond memories of him, and he stood out to me as a really good teacher because he was good at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Let's see. Well, I guess we can end it with the song or something if you want. If you're up for that, we can.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to remember.
It was good in the beginning, but we did go over right before the stream.
I think I got it.
Well, I'll go get it anyways. It's a thing I look forward to most in the podcast is playing the music. But that's because I know how to do it.
Yeah,
kind of.
Well, I mean, I hope that talking and our casual conversation style format is fun.
I mean,
I have fun.
Yeah, I'm always up and down every day.
Okay.
So I won't trust my feelings.
Yeah, so I don't know. This was a more chill episode. I think just the mixture of people makes it a certain way. I had fun today. I hope you all did too.
So much fun.
I like your sweater.
Thank you.
It's dinosaurs.
It's got dinosaurs on it.
Wait, are you talking?
Dinosaur
Were you
bone.
talking to us or the people watching, listening?
About what?
Or you hope you had a fun time.
Everyone. I hope the audience
Okay.
had a fun time, and I hope you all had a fun time.
I mean, I don't really enjoy too much in life.
Jeez.
I don't want people going away from this thinking that.
You're having fun.
I mean, I am. They should know that life is hard. Whether or not you have obstacles.
This is a downer.
I mean, just saying it like it is. Like, if you have, there's always issues, and sometimes whether or not you have big issues, it doesn't matter because some people just will never be able to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, having issues is a great reason, is a good excuse for feeling meh, but I don't know. I think that can just be a thing. Like, you don't have to have a big turmoil event going on in your life to kind of, because I don't know.
All
I
feelings
feel like
are
I've had.
valid.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Right.
If you have because I know I've had a lot of crappy things happen in life, but then also I've had great things too. So, but for me, I feel like I'm pretty consistent. Like, I can't feel too happy because those happy moments are really great, but the terrible shit is really crappy. So I kind of just stay in the middle, and it's more of a feeling of don't get your hopes up. So then I'm not pessimistic, but I'm not super optimistic. but I continue working. Does that make sense?
You're just living your life.
So I don't want people to think that I'm like, boy, David's just because I don't, maybe on Twitter and stuff, maybe, what a ray of sunshine. I don't really know, though. But on a podcast, you can hear that I think I'm more mellow, like, very sarcastic, very...
I think, I always like your funny rants on Twitter and stuff, but some people don't seem to have a sense of humor and don't understand humor because they, like, think that you aren't grateful for life or something.
I mean...
They're always like, I see comments all the time, they're like, I don't know, implying that all you do is complain. I'm like, yeah, but complaining is funny. It's supposed to be funny.
I mean, once you get to know us, I suppose. Yeah. But it's tough on text. You can't always...
I think we all have a similar sense of humor here, and not everyone is going to understand that. Like,
but hopefully, if they've listened to the podcast this much, it's not like... I'm not like a burst of ray of sunshine. Like, that's Brian Barberin. Like,
True.
He's like, no matter where it's vastly different. But if you get like Bunny and I in a room, like if this podcast was just Bunny and I sitting at a table, it's real depressing. Like that's just that's just the people we are. Like if we're surrounded by happy people, we'll absorb that energy. But I think we'll command I'll just say it. Like no, I'm not saying like it to dissuade you guys, but I feel like Bunny and I we definitely control the room when we're and unless you have like a very super strong like in your face personality, like we're just going to steer the boat towards everything sucks. Maybe that's how I feel now, but
were we not strong enough personalities?
No. I don't want you to take it that way, but you can compare it to like someone like
I think I'm just really chill.
No, yeah, that's the difference. But if you're someone like if you're strong, like Sam, he's very opinionated, he's very that kind of stuff, or Brian, he's like super like positive, like 24/7, like all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he jokes and stuff too, but like that's kind of the only thing that Bunny and I kind of, I don't know. I mean, that's just my point of view, and maybe it's just because I'm tired. And that's not like, I don't want you to think that that's like that I was thinking about how terrible you guys are or something.
Oh no.
I'm more pointing it towards the to myself and shining lights on my flaws rather than any of yours. It's just I don't think anyone can really, like if you really want it, I don't think I was in a bad mood. I was just kind of mellow. I don't know what the...
Mellow today?
Yeah. But that's most of the time. But like if I'm in a bad mood, no one's getting me out of that. You know what I mean? Unless they're like super, they have to be like a force to be reckoned with.
Sure.
And when I'm in a bad mood, I feel like I am a force to be reckoned with. Like, don't get in my way kind of thing. Sometimes. Not really. I still have logic. I don't know. You've seen... ups and downs, and Bunny's similar.
Everyone has ups and downs. I have ups and downs.
So it's hard to when you're a person who's very what's the word?
Empathetic.
Where they express so much. It can be much. It can be a lot, very much for people who aren't used to that kind of stuff.
Expressive.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because even just one sentence can have the weight of 1,000 suns. That kind of thing. Like I feel like that's when I. One like Bunny and I, like I feel like that's like we're in a mood or something, like that's what happens. I'm not saying that's a flaw. I think that's just.
I think people who are more in tune with their emotions and more sensitive to the world around them, and like I feel like I'm a little more empathetic than some people, and I absorb whatever emotion is in the room with me. And I think we all here feel a great deal. We're very in tune with our emotions, and that can be a blessing or a curse.
Yeah. So I guess what my main point is I guess I didn't want anyone to think that there was something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
If my mood seemed, maybe that's just my own look.
I don't know.
But I feel normal.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'm just not overly happy today. Whereas, sometimes it's like this.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like this.
This is just kind of
is that just looking into things too much?
No.
Because you guys feel pretty consistent.
It's not David when new video game has come out today.
You're right. It's like, boy.
It's normal day.
It's normal
nothing
day.
sucks, but I mean, my consistent is everything
David.
sucks.
Yeah. Well.
that
right.
Because my negative is, I don't know.
Well, we can't always, when we schedule, not saying this podcast was bad, but I'm saying when we schedule a podcast ahead of time, we can't always control what kind of people we're going to be that day when we wake up. Sometimes we're in a really great mood, and sometimes we're just living our lives.
Well, I also don't like trying to find the excuses either, because I mean, nothing is an excuse when it comes down to like a work. But since the podcast is kind of like the last thing that we put effort into,
Yeah.
If it was our main thing, I'd be like, I need to be positive all the time. I wasn't negative, was I? Maybe I was.
No.
I felt a little bit when I was at the questions, but
No.
that's just overthinking it.
I don't know. I mean, the questions are always just questions are random. Sometimes I think we have better answers than other times. Like, I don't know. Today maybe we just struggled with the questions a little more. No, we didn't. But I'm just saying that maybe there were more repeats, stuff that we've already answered in the past, but that's all that was out there. So I just asked them anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind. I guess it's more about trying to make sure. I don't know. The flaw of caring what other people think.
Yeah.
I guess that's the issue, which I guess matters when you're trying to do a podcast for the supporters of your band. You don't want them to hate you.
Well.
So that, I don't know what that did for me going on that rant, but I guess we can play this now.
I don't know why I keep looking up at your AC vent when I'm trying to figure out my harmonies. I keep looking up there.
We can hear
Where is my harmony?
Is that your source of inspiration?
I think that's my source of inspiration.
Do you want to hold this?
It's beautiful.
You want to hold
I keep I think it's because I'm not used to singing, so when I'm concentrating really hard, for some reason I just keep focusing up there.
We'll go through it.
It's a nice AC vent.
We'll see the process. Here, hold this. Okay. We have to do the whole thing we did before.
I'm really sweaty. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm nervous. This is my big day here, singing this song. No.
Just like the beginning.
Okay. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go like this.
Wait. How did I do this before?
Okay, I got it.
Let's just okay. It's a podcast from Steam. Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Okay, that's just a melody of mine, but we can fix it. Let's do it.
Bennettarium.
So I'm on an E. You're gonna be on a G. So if you want the G, it's gonna be this one. That's where you're gonna start the Bennettarium at.
Bennettarium.
There you go.
Okay.
I just wanted. It's more gratifying when you were able to find it. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's a podcast from Steam. Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Bennettarium. Oh, it's the Bennettarium. And Chelsea keeps moving the microphone so my head has to bend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing a lot at once. I'm trying to sing.
No. It's real stupid.
I'm trying to sing, which I'm not used to, so I'm concentrating really hard, and I can't.
It's stupid that we don't have microphone stands.
Oh.
We have one, but what's the point of just using one?
Your hand is the microphone stand.
It was just weird. It's like you're like holding the microphone for me. It just this was a real. That's gonna be the thumbnail because it looks so stupid. And then this is going this way, and I'm like, I don't blame anyone. I don't want anyone to think that I'm blaming Chelsea.
No, I'm in a really weird mood because I haven't eaten anything today, and I drank a big caffeinated cup of tea, so I'm kind of really jittery and yeah.
But anyways, the harmony sound great in the beginning, and they were good at the end too. I mean,
I don't know. I kind of lost it in the middle there.
That's fine. I mean, it's just for
this
fun.
is why I decided not to sing on this one because it would have been even worse.
Okay,
but think about
we
it this way.
practiced for an hour last night, and I was getting it perfect.
But think about it this way.
And then today I'm I can't. I don't know what I'm singing.
If you failed on the podcast, then there would be nowhere to go but up.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's how I see
I'm
about it.
really sweaty.
Think about that one time.
I don't know why. I got really nervous there.
Oh no,
singing.
the 12 people out there, they saw it all.
I'm just excited.
Well,
anyway.
thanks for coming on the podcast, Camille.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked
Oh,
enough
yeah.
about Final
I hope
Fantasy.
you had fun.
I don't want to talk about Final Fantasy every time. People are going to get so
What else
sick
can
of
we
it.
talk
Let's have a Final
about?
Fantasy girl on.
Yeah, we can't typecast Camille.
I mean, we only have.
Yeah.
I can only talk about VR.
There's more to
Witcher.
Camille than Final
You
Fantasy.
can't turn me into a Final Fantasy lady. No personality.
I'm Witcher 3 and VR. Chelsea's Astrology and Dark Tower. And Camille's
I
Final
guess.
Fantasy and Superman.
I mean,
There we go. Actually,
okay.
that is a really good,
And-
I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I like.
I haven't talked
talking
about Superman ever.
I don't know
my
anything about Superman.
God.
I should
How
ask
have we-
all those questions that I asked.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time Camille's on, we'll talk about
I
Superman.
had so many
can't
questions
believe we
for
haven't talked about it.
the folks from Geek Shot Photography? I asked Beth's husband.
What?
I'm drawing a blank.
James?
James.
About Superman?
Because he was a super
About
fan.
the movie?
Yeah.
No, just in general. I asked
Oh,
him so
yeah.
many questions.
Camille and James.
What about this? How come?
We actually
Camille
had a really long conversation on the plane once, and we were laughing so hard that there was like a lady who was like giving us the darkest look.
Yeah, there
How
was
dare you have
it
fun of
was,
this?
it was the Kansas show back in 2014. We were flying to Wichita, and me and Camille and David were sitting together, and this lady kept giving us the stink eye because we were sobbing. We were laughing so hard.
How
Next
dare they
time.
have fun?
Next time we'll get
To
into
be
that.
continued. We'll let you know
I
what
don't-
we were
and
laughing
to be
at.
fair, we weren't having. It wasn't like we were being obnoxiously.
No,
loud.
we weren't.
just
like
laughing.
we were just
we're
we were
polite
just
people.
giggling.
Like,
We were trying to be.
It was just
we were very
giggles.
yeah,
polite.
She
regardless of how, like, oh, they probably were just. They're probably these people. Ah,
No.
like on a plane. Like,
No.
it was like very.
Yeah.
We were
very
being
Some
as
people-
discreet
Discreet
as
as
we could.
possible.
Some people just can't
Can't
have
Some
a good
people
time on a plane no
don't
matter
like
what.
Seeing other people having fun.
because I know what you're thinking. Like, and I'm the person that hates people that are too loud on planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We all are.
but we were not
Ba-
those people. We were not those people.
She was just
If I was president, the first thing I would do is outlaw babies on planes.
If I was president, the first thing I would do is outlaw babies.
Yeah.
I think that might go over not that well.
I mean, there's
Hey,
people
we
are
have a
real
population
people are
problem on
real
this planet.
sick. They're sick. Yeah, that's the reason.
We need to stop having
That's
children.
a good excuse. That's a good excuse. Yeah, we'll go
Disneyland
with
was
that.
at capacity this week. We cannot
Yeah.
have any more children.
Okay.
Disneyland was at capacity
Right.
in January. That's just
I hear your concern.
Ridiculous.
I think my plan.
Stop having
Put it
babies.
in place. Give it a few years. Disneyland will be a lot less crowded.
Disneyland.
Or no, it won't be because they'll just.
I
say,
would
I'm
vote
"Oh,
always
for you.
All
I'm
these
so
children.
like, why are there all these children at Disneyland
I mean, people
getting
have-
in my way?
It's a big thing. People are being influenced by their hormonal tendencies to reproduce.
Yeah.
And they are super unaware of it. They're just going with it. Like, is that not a problem?
Come on.
These are the issues we
Wait,
have to
Big
deal with.
questions
we need
next
to-
time on the Bennettarium.
We're better than this. We're evolving past our primal needs. We need to stop.
I mean,
freaking
I feel like
reproducing.
I feel like I have it a little easier because being a male, like I don't have the tendency. I don't have like the
We need
desire
to
Do you-
ascend
that's a-
to the
can-
non-physical realm.
I could rant about that all day as a female.
Where was this before? Oh man, we
Where
could have
was
the
this
best
energy?
Do
podcast.
you know? Okay. Do you know the fastest way to lose my respect is to tell me someday I'll change my mind, and I'll want kids.
Oh
I
boy.
won't. No, don't do it.
I mean, I can't really say anything because
Don't
I'm not
even go
a
there.
woman, but I see the.
Like that.
I see
That just
the,
brings.
how crappy that
that
would
just
feel.
will put me into a rage. Don't
Well-
tell. You'll change your mind.
You'll want kids eventually. I'm like, when?
What? It's
Oh, did you see that tweet? I think I like sent it to you guys. Or there was like a funny tweet or something where it's like, they were right. As I say, as I stare out into my pasture of goats,
Oh yeah.
I did want,
I want lots of kids.
yeah, I don't remember like how the joke was structured, but it was something like, they were right when they told me I'd want kids someday. I say as I look out onto my endless pasture of goats, or
But
something like that.
in all
like,
seriousness,
no,
like
yeah.
if you want kids, go whatever. That's cool. But you know, it's
If you
it's
don't-
the forcing it on.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
don't
say, if
try
you
to-
want kids, that's great. Keep it to yourself.
No.
Stay inside. Don't take your baby out into public.
I mean,
or have
I
to
like
deal with
I
it.
like performing with kids. They're the easiest audience ever.
Yeah, because
But-
anything's funny, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we did children's camps and stuff, and like, you know, my hate for children is more in the same vein as why my hate for dogs is because of the people who love dogs and who love kids and who love babies and oh my god, a special dog.
I like having bird children.
Go on Tumblr later and see Chelsea's problematic because she doesn't like children.
I mean,
who does?
What I should really say is, wait. After you said, I wanted to say what you said. If one way to turn what did you say? One way to turn you drop respect.
One way to lose my respect is to tell me that I'm going to change my mind someday
about wanting kids.
I'm, and like it doesn't matter how many times you roll your eyes at those people. They'll give you the whole, it's your biological clock. It just hasn't gone off yet.
I mean, to be fair, I have seen
that
people
does
who
happen
have
to people.
Switched, and okay.
But like, I don't know. I know myself, and I don't know. I just can't see I have never ever in my life entertained the idea of having kids. If a random thought pops into my head, it's like a hypothetical, like, well, what if I had to have a kid? How would I deal with that?
Like if someone held a gun to my head, what would I do? I'd probably say pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I've had a good life.
I have never ever once.
I've had a good life, way better than if I had kids.
I've never once in my life ran through the hypothetical having a kid in a way that like I would enjoy it.
One way to lose all respect. We need to lose all respect for you.
All women
would you say? I want
to
repeat the same thing you did, but then put my thing at the end.
Oh,
I want to use the same wording.
The best way to lose my respect is to tell me what would it be for you?
Then I would be the best way to lose my respect. Wait, damn it! I'm saying it wrong still. This is really tough, but it's gonna be great for the chuckle. I just need to figure out what you said. Say it one more time.
The best way to lose my respect.
The best way to lose my respect. The fastest way to lose my respect would be for you to tell me that you're a human. That didn't have as much. Okay, so just existing and I hate you.
So wait.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
How do I get that? You see the joke, right? The joke is that there's no way that I won't hate you.
Yeah.
How do I get that?
I don't have you don't have respect for anyone.
Yeah, there we go. How do I say that? I'm just kidding. I'm joking, but
yeah.
No, quote me on that. Quote me on it, and then point them to the podcast so that everyone can see that it was a joke.
I can't speak for Camille, but like as a female, I feel like
it's just
you don't want people to tell you what to do.
No.
I mean, even men and anyone, men, women,
especially,
like,
I don't know.
You don't want people to tell you what to do.
No one has your exact experiences in life. No one should tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Wait till you're about 28. There's a little thing that your biological clock will flip flop.
I know,
and then
right?
You'll be like,
okay, I turned 28 in May. Am I gonna like wake up and want kids? No.
I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know. Well, and here's the other thing. Like, I don't know. I'm different. I want different things in life than the majority of people. I've never wanted kids. And another thing is that I've never fantasized about my wedding. Like, that's a cliche that lots of little girls plan out their weddings when they're kids or whatever, and they think about their wedding. I had friends who did. I had friends.
Is that what life's about?
That's not just.
What it felt like,
that's
right?
not just a stereotype that isn't real. Plenty of women, men too, but mostly women. I think, they think about their wedding, they dream about their wedding day, and they plan it out in their head, and they have little fantasies. But I've never ever, not a single time in my life, thought I daydreamed or played make believe about what my wedding would look like.
I mean,
I've never considered it because
married couples who the ceremony was
not important,
which is cool.
If I had to get married, if hypothetically, if I got married, I would go to City Hall or it'd be a 5-minute service.
If you had to get married, someone held a gun to your head.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can just kill me now. My life was way better before I got.
Yeah. Marriage is marriage is one of those things that if I had a gun to my head, whatever. It's just writing on a piece of paper. Marriage, kids is another thing completely.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I mean,
marriage is if I had to get married or die, of course
it just helps you financially.
It's like
who would hold a gun to someone's head? They'd have to have control over your whole life.
Yeah,
that's the problem with these hypotheticals.
It's
there's nothing. Getting married is the only way to cure the incurable cancer that you have.
Right.
And why? Because someone won't give it to me? Because
I like Superman.
Camille's already been Camille is already typecast as the Final Fantasy Queen.
Is that really?
Yeah,
that's not a bad title to have.
The Final Fantasy Queen.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Final
Fantasy wedding.
Oh yeah.
Camille's like,
I guess I'll get married
I
now.
guess.
if it was Final Fantasy themed, I guess.
If it was all paid for and already done,
and Final Fantasy themed,
then I
you'd get
guess
married.
I would do it.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
I don't really
Okay.
want that.
Marriage and kids are very different to me. Like marriage is just a like writing on a piece of paper. I feel like it's more of like a marriage, like Camille said, it can help you financially.
Yeah, marriage is like
it's like you could get married for tax reasons. Like marriage doesn't matter.
like a tandem bicycle riding on a piece of paper.
Here's how I
it's
see
just
it.
gonna fall through that piece of paper.
Marriage is
I don't know.
marriage is what you make
Paper's
of
thin.
it. If you want to believe that marriage is some big like holy sacred thing, then that's what it is to you. If marriage is a way to help
Abide
you
by your God's rules and regulations.
Sure, that's what it is. If to you marriage is something you do for tax reasons, then that's what it is for you. Marriage is very subjective, where it's like having kids is like that changes your whole life.
Sure.
That's different.
It is. What is the reason? I don't know. Obviously there's positives and negatives, but you could have an excuse for I could have a million excuses for not to have kids. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want my bloodline to live on. I see my relatives. I'm like, no way. no, I'm not. That's not like
my reason
for
my reason for
family,
not having
but,
kids isn't really. That's not like sure. That's a really good reason. That's not one of my reasons though. My reason is that I don't enjoy kids and like I would not want to live with one.
Well, also, and another one is that I would just ruin them because I'd be too busy with Steam-powered Giraffe.
Yeah. For me, you know what? I like
Timmy.
my me time.
Go back to your room. I'm busy.
I want.
Sorry, Jimmy. The television's gonna raise you.
I don't want to. Okay.
Why would his name be
make
Jimmy?
me? I shouldn't be saying this stuff. Like I'm gonna sound like a terrible person.
I mean, it's
This
only
is
gonna
just-
haunt you for the rest of your life.
I shouldn't.
The internet doesn't go away.
Yeah, I shouldn't say.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
We're getting into a really long. Weren't we like finished?
We were done about
I
20
can't-
minutes ago.
I should stop. I'm gonna stop talking.
At any rate, all of us except for Camille are terrible people.
That's right.
So if you want to keep listening to us terrible people, Steam-powered Giraffe, become an engineer too.
You know?
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go shut the podcast off now.
Oh yeah, we already did the song. I was like,
We
oh,
did.
I gotta sing now.
All right, here we go.
She's gonna start
Here we go.
sweating.
All right, here we go. It's a podcast from Steam-powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. No, it kind of works. I'm like leaning over to that.
Did I get that right?
Oh, something terrible people on the Bennettarium.
I'm doing it again. I'm looking at the vent.
Oh, yeah. Bennettarium. And you listen to us for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
This is god awful. We need to.
Look at that amazing vent up there.
I don't know
I'm
why.
so inspired.
I'm like
you guys.
concentrating so hard on the singing that I'm like staring. I don't know. There's nothing up there. Why am I?
Bye.
Have a good week, everyone.